What's up, everybody? This is our 2-year anniversary. I'm so excited, man. Listen, if this is your first time watching the Dear Future Wifey podcast, make sure you subscribe. Come on now. Stop shacking up with us and hit that subscription button and subscribe. Listen, we're so excited to be before you today. It's like I'm in a church. We're excited to be before you today. Listen, without further ado, I have my brothers to come join me on the 2-year anniversary. So welcome to the 2-year anniversary. My homie, Bashea Williams.
What's going on? What's going on?
And Jay Barnett is being colored, and so he's on his way. But in his defense, he flew in late. The plane was delayed, and so as soon as he gets here, he's just gonna walk on in here. So, Bashea, where have you been up to, man?
Oh man, been busy, man. It's been a lot of great things happening. We are working with the African American community in Montgomery County. We're providing free therapy to every African American resident in that community. My practice, along with other clinicians that I contract with. So right now, we have about 250 African Americans receiving free therapy. So that's been keeping me and my wife busy and my practice busy. Other than that, we're working on our next 2 books. We're so excited. We're down here. My son is visiting different schools down here. He's may be going to college down here, UTD, UTA, SMU. So he's testing out different colleges. So that's what I'm doing right now.
All right. Well, that's cool. So so you've been coming to Dallas quite often.
Yeah.
And you talked about you may end up be moving to Dallas sometime soon, huh?
Yeah. If my son comes to school down here, we're definitely going to buy a house down here.
Oh, really?
This will be a getaway. We'll come down here, set up. Texas has always been like a chill, relaxing.
Yes.
It's not as busy of where we're from. So it'll be dope to move down here, man.
And I was asking you also what happened to your queen. Where's she at right now?
Sleep. Sleep. I'm sleepy too. You can see in my face, but she is getting her rest.
So they come to Dallas to just sleep. They just come to Dallas, eat and sleep.
Yeah.
Listen, if y'all have any questions, feel free to drop the questions in. We're going to be, this is going to be an interactive episode. And what I may end up doing is invite some of you guys to join us on the live stream and ask questions live. So, hey, if you're interested in doing that, go straighten up your hair, get in some good lighting. We'll drop the StreamYard link halfway into the show, and you can come and talk and share whatever God lays on your heart. Today is Good Friday, man. Yeah. What does Good Friday mean to you, Bashea?
It just means celebrating everything that God has done for us. It's a celebration. So it's really connecting with, for me, it's family.
Yeah.
It's relaxation, what we're supposed to be doing. But it's also celebrating, and you're supposed to find out the good things. I think one of the things we read earlier in the scriptures, like 3 things that we're happy for, or that we want to thank God for at this particular time. And so we sat down, me and my wife, we talked about how thankful we are for each other, our journeys, what do we love about each other, and being that person and finding our person and knowing that I trust you, knowing that I have fun with you. Even in the midst of a storm, we're still holding hands. So it's just been a good moment and a good day to really capture that.
So let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. What is the one thing that you learned in marriage that you didn't know before? Because I know we have these ideals of marriage, and then you say, if I married this woman who I love so much, that everything would be so perfect, but now you're actually living with a woman and learning who they really are. And like, what is something that you learned about marriage that you just, and of course, you've been a therapist, you've gotten a lot of information about marriage, working with couples and whatnot. But when you experience it for yourself, what is something that you would say that you learned?
That I don't have to fix everything. That was, I guess, the biggest thing, because I came in like, I'm married, I'm a husband now, I'm going to take care of every single problem, but I don't have to, and I don't need to, and I can't. Like some things I have to defer. I think it was online. They were talking about this whole simp masculinity, all this crazy stuff that people talk about. And someone was like, "Oh, a simp is somebody who doesn't defer or somebody who always takes control of everything." And I said,
Ah,
"I don't want to be exhausted in my marriage.
nah,
Like,
nah.
my wife has so many qualities and strengths. Why do I want to take that away?"
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So,
Jay asked a question. Jay Sannon. He said, "How do you know when a relationship is toxic?"
oh, there's so many different answers to that. So, overall, if you're connected to God, like your spirit, you can feel your spirit is disrupted when you're in an unhealthy relationship. So toxicity looks different to different people.
Right.
So if you know you're in a relationship, whenever you leave that person, you feel a sense of freedom. You feel like you're okay. There's some toxicity in that. Whenever you guys get together, there's chaos.
Yes.
There's again destruction in your spirit. There's always arguments about the smallest things, right? And so
Yeah.
I was doing a study on relationship ambivalence, and what that is that unhealthy relationship where you get together and you break up, you get together, you break up, you hate them, you love them, you miss them, you can't stand them, you go through these cycles of I want to be with you, but I don't want to be with you. We're unhealthy together, but let's continue to figure it out until something will happen just because we know each other, but we know each other's unhealthy parts, and then we have these toxic bonds. So we can go, that can go so many different ways. You talk about what a toxic relationship.
Coach Patty says, excellent analysis to follow. Thank you. What is it? Shania, Leanne, she says, happy second anniversary. I can't believe it's been that long. You know, this process has been extremely powerful. Of course, when I started this journey, I didn't believe that it would become everything that it is. Bashea has become a brother to me. I don't know if y'all saw the episode where I did a live around Christmas time when I received one of the greatest Christmas gifts I could ever receive, and that was Bashea gifting me with the trademark to Dear Future Wife. And for those of you that don't know what trademarks are and how important they are, it's what protects your brand internationally. And so for this brother to say, you know what, matter of fact, speak for yourself. Why did you, for those that didn't see that episode, why did you gift me with the trademark Dear Future Wife?
I was led to do it. It's so funny because I watched your podcast, and when I reached out to you and I said, you know what, I want to talk to you. And I watched you really deliver your heart. Right. And that's where I was when I was doing Dear Future Wife for years.
Yeah.
And I had no longer I needed an attachment to it. And so when my attorney came and said it's time to renew it, I said, I don't want to renew it. At that particular time, I just didn't want to renew it.
Yeah.
But as I thought about you, and as God said, give that man that. You don't need that. What are you holding on to that for? So you have your wife, you wrote your book, you have your classes and all those different things, but you don't need that. You shouldn't stop kingdom from moving because you want to be selfish.
Let me tell y'all don't understand how important that is, because Bashea could have shut this whole thing down. I was going to get a trademark for Dear Future Wifey, and they were like, hold on, this is going to be a conflicting trademark with Dear Future Wife. There's someone else that has a trademark for Dear Future Wife. And I said, yeah, but I got Dear Future Wifey. They said it's the same thing. Wife, wifey, same thing. That would confuse the audience. I said, but I already talked to him. We ended up talking, and he said, cool, we can coexist. It was like, still, we're not going to allow you to do that. My my trademark attorney was like, I've never seen that. Y'all have an agreement with each other. Why are they stopping you from doing this? This doesn't make sense. And it was going to be a very expensive legal battle to go against the trademark and trademark office and say, hey, this is the reasons why you should grant use. And we just sat down for about a couple of months, just sat it out and said, God, you got to do something. Then in the month of November, Bashea and his wife came to Dallas, and we went out to eat. And without him even knowing what I was going through with the trademark office, the first thing he said when I met him was, hey, what did you say to me?
I said, I can't remember.
He said, I'm not going to renew.
Yeah.
I'm not going to renew Dear Future Wife. And I was like, huh? And you're like, I'm just going to give it to you. And I said, no, first you said, I'm not going to renew it. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, and I just talked to my attorney that day. And I was like, and it was just by email. I sent the email, said, we need to start working on this again because I just can't let this just linger. And then ran into him And we talked, and he said that. And then a couple of days later, God laid on his heart to say, forget not just renewing it, just go ahead and assign it. And an assignment with the trademark office is literally just giving it away. And when I tell you, I was floored by that, because you know, I'm a huge giver, and it's hard to receive, you know, when you're always giving to other people. And it was just like God smiling at me and approving everything that I had been doing with the Dear Future Wifey podcast. And Bashea solidified it and said, here, I love what you're doing, man. You're doing kingdom work. And he said something powerful. He said, I don't want to be on the other end blocking you from doing kingdom work, because I don't want to deal with the penalty of God. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was serious. It was like convicted. He woke me out of my sleep and said, don't renew it. Then he said, give it to him. I was sitting in my office. My attorney called me and she was like, you sure? I was like, yeah. She said, okay, that's it. We'll do it. And she's actually the one who said to assign it over.
Yes.
She's the one,
because we had a phone conversation, and I said, well, hey, can you sign this paper to say that you're not going to renew it? Then he talks to his attorney. Then he calls me back and said, yeah, I talked to my attorney. Can you, he texted me and said, hey, can you get on the phone with my attorney? I said, oh Lord, she finna mess up everything. Oh Lord, man, I hate when attorneys get involved. They mess up stuff. It starts becoming about money. She got on the phone. She was like, hey, us signing that paper that you sent, that's not going to be good enough. We can just assign it to you. It's just $30. I was like,
and she was like, I'm gonna do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I was like, God, you are. It's just amazing. Stephanie said, love seeing men who are sensitive and obedient to what God has instructed them to do. Down there, Rihanna, Stephanie, put that on the screen. She says, love seeing men who are sensitive and obedient to what God has instructed them to do. Blessings. Why is it important, Bashea, for men to be submitted to the voice of God?
I know for me personally, when I didn't, I was in chaos. You know, when God says don't do that, when God says leave that relationship, when God said don't make that left, and you do it anyway, and then you end up, and then you asking God, why did this happen? He was like, I told you before you did that not to do that.
Yes.
So I just saw the covering. I just saw so many blessings come from that. So much peace, not even receiving blessings, but the peace is a blessing.
Yes.
And just being able to be in alignment with God's word just helped me grow in so many different ways.
When you did the episode, I get a lot of, the episode that you and I did, I don't know, did you see the episode with Jewel and Tavia? Jewel and Tavia was a couple that were on the brink of divorce, and I did an episode with them last fall, and then I did an update episode with them for my birthday. Well, Jewel had watched your episode and said, listen, he learned so much about what a kingdom relationship looks like. Mm-hmm. Now, Jewel wasn't a believer. He wasn't a Christian at all. And God strategically used the podcast. When they came on the podcast, they're friends of mine. And I didn't know that he didn't identify as a Christian. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I want a divorce. I'm done. And God opened up the door for me to sponsor their therapy sessions. And it was just a powerful moment, but then God began to restore their marriage. But one of the things that Jewel told me, he said, when I talked to him about actually coming on the podcast, is that he had watched you and Tara's episode, and he said, see, that's what I want. Mm. And it was so that's what I'm saying. Like, God is so intentional about every minute detail as it applied to the podcast. I was on the phone earlier today talking to a couple who have made the decision to get a divorce, and they have been DMing me, and we've been talking and whatnot. And they said that, they're going to get a divorce, and they're at peace with it and whatnot. And so, but they watch the podcast, and it's strange because the podcast is healing both of them to get to the terms of getting a divorce. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that ain't mm-hmm. what is this about? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's providing that reference and context to actually walk through that healing. And it was the most awkward conversation I ever had, because I was like, they said, we're better now than we've ever been before. And I was like, well, why don't y'all make it work? And they said, and that's how we know it's not meant to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? So make that make sense to me, Bashea, as a therapist.
That happens a lot when I work with couples. They come in and one person is committed to restoring the relationship and the other person is not committed and wants their way out.
Right.
So they just want somebody to help them figure this part out. What does it look like in this transition? So even though they're getting exactly what they need to restore themselves, maybe the whole restored and the whole person doesn't align with their other person. Maybe when they first got together, they're both unhealthy pieces.
And that's what they said.
And
They
so as
admitted
they
that.
grow and learn and say, you know what, this is something that just is not going to serve you. I don't want to hold you back and I don't want to hold
That's
myself
exactly what
back.
they said.
Yeah.
He said, I feel like I can't, you won't evolve into your greatest self as long as I'm in your life.
Right.
And I was like, how's that possible?
Right. Because you got unhealthy history, right? You have, like you said, you have all those different things that led you together, but you were your unhealthy self. So you got that trauma bond that's relating to another person, and you kind of hold on because that's what tradition, that's what Bible says.
Yeah.
You know, but if we didn't start with a good foundation, how are you holding on to it? So yeah, I mean, it happens. And I had to get it through my head because I was like, I'm going to save every relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not my assignment.
That's what made me so awkward because I'm sitting on the phone with them and I said, and they said a lot of stuff that was similar to the reason why I got a divorce. And I was like, wow, this is an interesting conversation. And then I was like, and they said, well, we haven't told our family. You're the only person that knows this and God. And I said, so when you gonna tell your family? They said, when we do your podcast. I said, huh? What are you gonna say on the podcast? I said, well, this is interesting. I said, so now, like, I was like, this. And I just got silent. And I was like, God, what are you saying? He said, remember, this podcast has always been about you. Yeah. The podcast is about your journey and your story. And I've always wished that my ex-wife would come on the podcast. She was like, nah, I'm not going to help you get a wife. I said, you're not helping me get a wife. You're talking about our journey and our story in hopes that people can heal and learn something from it. She was like, I'm not doing that. But he's bringing this couple with a similar story to be able to share. And I was like, God is so specific in this whole journey. Let's look at the comments. Y'all have any questions? Go to new comments, Rihanna.
Yeah, I saw some questions up there.
What's some questions? Feel free to just throw something on the screen. If you see something that needs to be, how can a woman help a man understand that acknowledgement is important in a relationship instead of getting defensive when caught in a lie? Uh-oh, that's you.
So you're talking about accountability,
yes,
as opposed to acknowledgement, or you're talking about acknowledgement of what's being said? How can a woman help a man understand that accountability is important in a relationship? So I think it's part how you guys communicate. What does accountability look like?
Well, he's saying that.
So acknowledgement, because I'm acknowledging that I did something wrong. I'm acknowledging, but it's about accountability. Yeah. So I think what has to happen is before you guys get into that moment where you're challenging him, when you're trying to point things out, you guys have to have an agreement outside of the chaotic moment, outside of the discontent, outside of whatever is happening, the dysfunction. Have that conversation and create the environment where you guys can speak and trust and build that relationship where I say, you know what? How can I hold you accountable? Which way do I need to approach this? Which way can you receive it? Whatever that looks like to you, have that set up before you get into those moments. So you're building a sense of trust. So I know you're not trying to tear me down or destroy me. And I know you're not trying to hear me in those moments, and give each other the trust that you need to have that conversation.
That's good. That's good. Can a woman push a man away by sharing too many achievable goals that she sees for him? Huh? Can you push a man away for telling him about the goals that you see for him?
I think so. So a lot of times I see in couples too. So there's this expectation that I see these great things in you. I want you to accomplish these things. I don't want you to stay stagnant. We're not talking about somebody who's not doing anything. We're talking about somebody who doesn't have time to celebrate where they're at. Right. So if I can acknowledge the one thing that I did today, then I can move on to the next thing. But sometimes your dream isn't his.
Right.
So where's that conversation about you see so many great things in him? Maybe he doesn't want to do that. You guys got to talk about what does it look like in the terms of your relationship? How does that impact your relationship?
All right. Yeah, I just saw it just fall offline. All right. Let's see another. We have to know how to approach them too. Great wisdom. That's a bit controlling. Somebody says a bit controlling. He's definitely a doer and a go-getter. I see more potential. Oh yeah, what happened was we just clicked off the stream. Let's see. Any other questions? Drop questions. Go all the way to the bottom. There we go. What happened? All right. Yeah. If you have any questions, let us know. Matter of fact, let's get fun. Rihanna, drop an invite link into the chat. Copy and paste it. And so we're going to drop a link. Click on that link, join the live, make sure your phone is horizontal. And if you have any questions, jump in. If you just want to talk about, give a congratulatory statement about the podcast or even a testimony of what you've been learning from the podcast, feel free to jump in and add yourself to the stream. How can you help someone that is broken from a past relationship leave it in the past? It's kind of hard to help someone leave a relationship in the past. I've been in that situation before where I try to talk to somebody and say, hey, listen, why don't you leave that in the past? It's the past. But until they're ready to let it go, there's nothing you can do about it. You can encourage them. You can tell them how toxic that is in your current relationship. You can tell them how wonderful they are with that person, how their life is better. But until they see that for themselves and they get the healing that they need to release that, whatever that is, then you're kind of fighting the uphill battle. What would you say, Bashea?
Definitely ask them, what does it mean when that pops up for them? So we talk about trauma. So trauma from relationships, people don't really identify or give that much thought, but those traumatic relationships, they live with us, right?
Yes.
So what triggers that for you to go back into the past and say, see, this is what I've been through before. Okay, so what we can do to make it different, make the outcome different.
Yeah.
So you're not reliving that moment over and over again. And sometimes again, you can't do that. They got to do their own work, right? Because even some of my old stuff comes up and I have to check myself in the moment and identify that I'm not with the same person.
Yes.
I'm in a new relationship and I need to respond differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's real. It says the device not connected. Nadia. Okay, Nadia, you tried to add to the live, but it says something about your device not being connected. Should you go to counseling by yourself if your spouse is uninterested in getting counseling?
Absolutely. I think everybody should go. Not everybody needs it, but I think it's a good tool for a lot of people. I go to counseling by myself. My wife goes by herself. We go together. I was going to counseling prior to that. She's been into a therapist prior to that. It's just a good thing to do, a good practice. We got more than just our relationship to process. And I don't always want to bring everything that I'm dealing with, whether it's business, it's in my practice or whatever that is, to her. So that's the space where I get to have for myself.
But how does it work if you have one couple, one of the individuals in the relationship going to counseling, going to therapy, working on whatever it is, and the other person isn't present? Do you feel like that's an imbalance?
It depends, right? So what are you going to counseling for? Like I've seen people who've come to me and said, you know what, I wanted to come as a couple, but my partner doesn't want to come.
Right.
So I'm just going to work on me in here.
Yes.
And I'm going to get what I need in this process to manage myself outside of my individual self in that relationship.
Right.
So it doesn't impact me as much as it would impact me without the help from you.
So, and when you have one person there, have you ever seen the relationship flourish from that, or does it dissipate because one person is now outgrowing the other person from a mental, emotional, spiritual standpoint, where they end up saying, I don't even want to be with this person anymore?
I've seen both happen. So, and I've also seen like the growth in one person that their partner comes in and says, I've seen what's been happening in practice.
I want that too.
I want to come in here and too, or just come and say, I just want to thank you. They come to the sessions like, I want to thank you.
That's good.
And I said, well, thank your partner because they're doing the work. I'm just here facilitating.
That's good. So they'll actually come in and thank you. That's a powerful thing. How can you set a healthy boundaries when it comes to the opposite sex friendship when you're married or dating?
Oh man, that is good. You can't call after a certain time.
Yep.
I think I said this on the podcast, but I don't talk to the opposite sex laying down. Just to, I have my clothes on. Just those things is psyche that you just work out.
He said,
just setting the boundaries, like, and every woman that I communicate with knows my wife as well. What's up, brother? What's going on, man? How you?
Brother?
Go hit the applause sound, Rihanna. We got a superstar in the building, so we got it.
Hey, just hop off the jet.
Just got off
the feel like go across the world. And,
slide the microphone to your mouth.
All right. Bro, hold on now.
Put the mic by your mouth.
No, that don't sound right.
Said pause.
Sound right.
Here, raise it. Let me see. Raise that up.
Oh, I know I do. Okay. Yeah. Dad used to sing quartet.
You see your dad used to sing quartet?
Mm-hmm. For years.
And you had the mic assignment. You was the one that had to go set up the mic
assignment.
There it is. Perfect. So yeah, we got my boy
man.
JJ. Where you coming from?
Virginia.
Put the microphone real close because that thing is far. There it is.
I was in Richmond yesterday, and then New York before that.
Hill?
Just Hillbro tour last night in Richmond. And then the day before that I was in New York, Westchester. And then what was Mexico, and then before that. So, man,
so you've been kicking it, huh?
Moving.
Man, it's been a week, man. Shoot.
So being out there with all these men, what are some transformative stories you're hearing from these men? Because the fact that a man will go to a Just Heal Bro like seminar or moment or a tour like that says a lot. These men saying that they really need this healing work. So what stories have you been hearing?
Man, bro, it's just a lot of brothers are saying thank you. I mean, brothers are just like, crying, man, and being open and just saying thank you. That's, we hear a lot of that. Man, thank you for giving language, providing this space. And it's been so dope because there's no judgment. You know? There's no women in there. And so these brothers are open.
Yes.
Last night we had a lot of married brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, married. I would say probably 80% was married last night.
That's dope.
And 20% college students from Virginia.
All right. There it is. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's humbling, man. Because like each city we do media, so we usually go in and do radio interview, and then we do a television interview. And so one of the brothers was like, "Yeah, man, my mom saw you on the morning news and said, hey, you need to go check this event out." And brother came, man, he just came up to me and just hugged me. And so it's just been life-changing, man. Dr. O'Shawn out of DC, who's a professor and a psychologist. And then my good brother, Lawrence Agile. And Ruck, he wasn't on this leg. He's filming, so we miss Ruck, man. That's my dude.
Yeah.
And but just to have those different
He's
brothers,
talking about Lamont Rucker. Yeah, I'll be like, Ruck, who's Ruck?
Yeah, Lamont Rucker. Yeah. So just to have those different voices of expertise. And Dr. O'Shawn talks a lot about Black masculinity.
Yeah.
I mean, this brother's anointed to talk about that, bro. Like from the clinical side, research side. Lawrence speaks about community. And
he's real big about
community.
community.
He's so big on community because Lawrence went to school with Mark Zuckerberg. So Facebook was created on his campus. So he talks a lot about digital loneliness and talks a lot about relationships and isolation, solitary confinement, not having relationship.
Yeah.
And when he talked to the brothers about not understanding the power of brotherhood. And one of the things that he talks often about is that your brother is your greatest asset.
Yes.
And that's so key because me and Bashea talk about that a lot in the DMs, and that's really how we connected.
Right.
And that's so critical because women do a really great job of building community and establishing friendships and stuff like that. And for me, I didn't realize how important it was until we started this tour.
Yeah.
Because you know me, man. I'm the only boy, so I go out and do my thing, and like I retreat. I go back home,
Yeah.
and it's just me. And for me, that's my safe space. And having Lawrence on this leg has really helped me to understand, you know, the power of brotherhood. Like I'm in a couple of group chats with brothers now who daily check on each other, like, hey, bro, what's good? And you know, how you feeling? How's the fam? And different stuff like that. So that's been healing for me. And that's the thing about this tour, is as we're helping these brothers heal and navigate through their own process, it's continuing healing, man, for me.
Yeah.
And establishing brotherhood. Like I'm leaning more into, you know, checking on brothers that, you know, that I know, especially in the work that we do. Like I have a couple of brothers like Bashea, what's my other guy out of DC, Alonzo, and another brother, I know his name will come to me, that are like therapists, and that you know, we do a lot of work and a lot of intake, man, and taking people. So it's been good, man.
Coach Patty said, are any plans to tour to California to speak?
Yeah. So we're actually in California in October. So we're actually I want to say in San Bernardino.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'm in San Francisco with Sean King. They haven't announced it, and that's in June. It's a mental health symposium that I'm actually moderating with Sean King and some other brothers. So yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, that's what's up.
S. Bell Corbin says, oh, well, IJ says, can marriage survive without any form of counseling, brothers?
Without any prior form of counseling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of couples come in not having counseling prior and saying, now we want counseling, because the way that we're working is not working. The things that we're doing is not doing. So we need that other person to come in and help us kind of like facilitate and address these underlying issues.
Yeah.
We're talking on the surface and we're not addressing the problems.
All right. Rihanna, do me a favor. Drop that invite link in the comments again, and stay majority on the wide shot. Hold on. What about Florida? They said
yeah, we're in Florida April 30th in Miami. So yeah, and this tour, man, is kind of it's growing. And as I told Hope, my manager out of Living Hope Production, who's producing this in partnership with myself, man. Every week it's overwhelming to us right now, because as it's catching fire,
more people are requesting.
People are like, hey, we need this. And so yeah, we're in Miami April 30th, and Houston May 5th, and then Dallas May 12th, and then Baltimore and DC. So it's growing, man.
So Jersey,
when we come to be more, so you know, be ready,
right,
bro.
I got you.
Yes,
I got you.
So
I'm not doing all this work.
One of the most powerful images that I see y'all take is when y'all link hands, and and all the way around that venue. It's the most beautiful thing when I see that.
That's our charge. And so that is so dynamic, bro, because when these brothers lock arms, I take them through a breathing exercise, and then I have these brothers close their eyes and set their minds on how they want to move forward after this process.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have them yell out what it is.
That's good.
And brothers will be screaming out anxiety, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah.
And just releasing it. And then I take them through an affirmation. And man, it's just this charge of brothers, man. And it's just, bro, it's beautiful. I mean, me and you talked about it a year ago, and when I was talking about wanting to do this tour.
Yeah.
And just to see this thing manifest, man, it's just unbelievable.
And to see these men being healed. Man. I mean,
these brothers are ready, man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It changes the generations. When you get a healed brother, it changes the trajectory. See, I was born out of brokenness. I was born, like, literally, my father was a broken man. His father was a broken man. You know what I'm saying? And it was literally like my father was born out of an adulterous relationship. And he never knew his dad was until 2020, when my sister and I decided to, I started an Ancestry.com account, and praise God, his siblings were open to it, and they came here and they showed it on the news, where I gave my father, blessed him with the gift of knowing who his father was.
Wow, that
after
ancestry
72 years,
works.
it works.
No.
72 years later.
What?
Wow.
They were all out of Houston. They drove up here. It's it's on my on the Dear Future Wifey podcast YouTube channel where it showed the whole story about that. My dad had suffered from not having identity, and when I would ask him about it, he'd be like, "Oh no, I just ain't no big deal." I said,
No, it's a big deal.
Bro.
You
You know who your daddy is. Like,
it's a big deal because you go through life with identity issues.
Exactly.
And that's what we're saying too. A lot of brothers are longing for the validation and the acceptance of a male figure.
Right.
And then also what this causes, Laterius, is developmental issues with how you connect with other men.
Talk about it.
We had a brother when we were in Fayetteville. He said Fayetteville was packed. He said, bro, I'm nervous being around a lot of niggas.
Yeah.
Why you say that?
Like just a lot of black men. He was like, bro, I'm nervous. So he said when he walked in, he was just like, man, I ain't know. He was on guard.
Yeah. He feel like he got to fight or something. We got to
exactly. But then that's a developmental issue that sort of predispose you to social dynamics of how to relate to another brother, to where, man, I got to be on guard
because everybody's a threat.
Yeah,
everybody's a threat if you don't have a relationship, right?
Dang.
So yeah, man.
Exactly. And then these are brothers who. What I like about this, man, is all types of brothers. Like we had a pastor in there last night, and it's so open and transparent. Like brothers are cussing, brothers are being open. Like, bro, this shit hurt.
Yeah.
And there's no judgment to where pastors say, hey, don't y'all say that. You know what I mean? And so that space of safety for these brothers, man, is just what I'm enjoying. And two, like we had a lady come in last night. Y'all know we had one every city who tried to sneak in.
What sneak in?
She tried to, my husband, I just wanted to come and support him. Like, baby, we
got him. We got the husband.
And I'm so glad I don't have to be the bad guy, bro. And Hope and Sherilyn are so good at that. No, ladies, you can sit outside or you can wait in the car. I mean, because we want these brothers to have their space, man. So
why do you think that is? Why do you think women want to be there for their quote unquote husband?
It's so many different reasons. So they want to know what's going on. What are you telling my husband? Tell him this. Make sure. No, this is what happened. Make sure he knows this. Make sure he comes out saying this. I need him to get this part. And it's about what they're receiving as opposed to what that man needs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happens.
But Shay, but on the real though, a lot of these, and I've seen this even in counseling couples, a lot of wives, it's almost as if they're surprised that their man feels some type of way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like they're surprised. I didn't know he felt that way. How could he think that? I'm the best thing that ever happened to him. Look how happy you are with me. Right. And he's over there like,
a lot of husbands find their voice in therapy.
Oh,
we submerge so much because we feel like we're supposed to take so much, and then we don't have the words to say it, right?
Yep.
And so one of the exercises I do in the beginning of it is just like, tell me what you like about that person. I want you to use expressive words. And so at first it takes a little while, but then they come out and then the wife is like, I didn't even know you like me like that. So we start out with that. And then we get into the other parts about, okay, what do you need from yourself? Like I asked men, what do you need from yourself? Like what is your identity?
Yeah.
Besides husband, besides father, besides doctor, whatever that is, like, who are you? And who are you in this marriage?
Mm.
And it goes back to I'm the provider. I'm gonna make sure she got this. I'm gonna make sure my family got that.
That part is so deep, what he just said. Yeah. Who are you in the marriage?
Yeah.
That's deep.
Donna, Kimberly, I see you, you joined the live, but your camera's off. So make sure you turn your cameras on when you join the live. Read that question.
What if you have circumstantial evidence that your husband is lusting after women on IG, like to the point of sending them DMs? I was 8 months pregnant when I found this out, but I don't trust him at all. Brit O, I think that's, I want to make sure. Here's what I would say. I would, and here is the most difficult thing that couples have a hard time, I see in counseling, is just really asking the question, what is it that you're looking for? And asking him, okay, because Because see, if you focus on the lust, you're gonna miss what's driving him to this. And that's what you really got to focus on. And so I would say, just really go to him, asking him, what is it? Do you like the way they shape? Are you turned on by these women? Like, am I not physically appealing to you? And that's a real thing. And it's okay. And no, it's not going to feel good, but at least you have context on why his behavior is what it is. But that's the fear of like rejection, and that's the fear of I'm not enough. But rather than, because again, you see a lot of men are unable to really understand the process of their wives or spouses or partners' bodies making changes through pregnancy. You know, that happens a lot. And I think, you know, we don't provide enough context to men as their wives are going through the pregnancy and understanding that their bodies are changing, the hormones are changing. You know, they may not be more sexually engaged as what you're accustomed to. And so I think to provide context to men on how to develop discipline, develop understanding, to manage all of those things, because again, it doesn't stop you from functioning as a man or a woman, because every woman is different in pregnancy. Some women want to have more sex during pregnancy, you know, and then some women don't, and so it's just different. But I would just really ask,
Rihanna, see if we can bring. I see Donna Scott here. I'm gonna see if I can bring her in, and then we'll answer that next question. Let me see why their screen. Donna, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can. I'm actually at work though.
Oh, so that's why you don't have your camera on?
Right.
Okay.
You got that wig on. You got the wig off. Put it on, Donna. I'm teasing.
That's all right.
So Donna, what would you like to say?
Actually typed my question. I was asking, why is it that men tend to hide what they really want from the relationship? So oftentimes it seems as if you're actually bothering them. You might be asking, what is it that, what you want? How can I serve you better? So on and so forth. And it's not really forthcoming. But I do believe that there's a level of expectation like everybody, really have. What is it? Is it that they're having, I don't know. I really don't know how to put that part together. But I find that they have a little difficulty in expressing sometimes what they really want out of the relationship, which can be frustrating for the female.
Oh, okay. Yo, is that a comment or a question?
I mean, it's loaded. I mean, you know, when you're asking a man, what do you want from a relationship and what aspect? I think also, if you look at the history of the communication, what has him asking for something, what was the response to that? How did you guys communicate when maybe you couldn't meet that need, or maybe he couldn't meet your need? What was that like? What was his interactions with those questions prior to your relationship? Are you talking about marriage? Are you talking about dating? Are you talking about whatever that is? I think a lot of times women want a lot in the beginning when it comes to asking those questions. And sometimes those questions are asked just through interaction, just through natural interaction. A lot of stuff comes out, but we miss that because we want specific answers. But there is a level of disconnect from the words that we need to find. I mean, that's why we're here, right? That's why we have these conversations. That's why we have these symposiums. That's why we have these different things to give men their voices. And I always said a lot of men don't speak until it's time to yell. And by that time, it's an exploding on someone. So, and again, we're taught not to ask for things. We're taught to, if we're not asked for it, go get it yourself. And so we struggle with that as well. But it's also about the exchange when you're having that conversation. Is it safe enough to ask for those things when he comes to his significant other?
All right.
And then I'll also add to this and I want the majority of the women to understand, because I'm reading the comments. A lot of times, like, let's look at this from how men have been socialized.
Right.
Let's start there. And Bashea just said it best. A lot of times you're looking at a lot of men that don't know what they need. So
Right.
to ask them what they want out of a relationship, they don't have
the tools
or the capacity to even answer that question.
Yeah.
And so you now have to make a decision. Do I continue to move forward with this guy to pick this lock, or to feel like I can fix him or get him to have language? It takes a while to find language.
Yeah.
We had a guy, our first tour stop in Norfolk, 60-year-old brother. He's been in the mental health space. He said, man, the way you guys broke down this discussion and the way you guys provided language, he said, in 60 years, I've never seen this. And he said, you guys helped me to understand that there were some things that I was still not capable of doing. And I think the frustrating thing for women is that, and let me just be honest, you don't see me and Bashea every day.
Yeah.
Right.
And what I mean by that is a process of developing, a process of unlearning, a process of processing, a processing of deconstructing, reconstructing, rebuilding, reframe it. That takes work.
Yeah.
And the majority of the men have not done work, and the majority of the men don't even know they need to do the work.
Right.
So let's start there.
Yeah.
So the disadvantage is not that, ladies, it's your fault or it's anyone's fault. The system, like, that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
The system has not allowed men the opportunity to even understand how they have been reared and shaped from a process to where you're going to show up in the world not having a clue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because let's look at this, ladies. You were pushed in the independency to be your own woman.
Yep.
He was pushed in a position to look for that woman, not to look for himself, not to discover himself.
Yeah.
So a lot of these men are not even capable.
Yeah.
And this is why this is why you would never hear me go out and bash dudes and like, oh, these dudes ain't this. Because when you get in this space, you understand, like, how can this man even understand contextually how to show up in a relationship when he don't even know how to show up within his own authentic self?
Yeah. Right.
So he has all of these different models that has been exhibited for him that he don't even have a clue of what is a man.
Yes.
Right.
It says, great to Miss Mel says, great to hear about men being positive and seeking healing and brotherhood. I've often tried to encourage males to mentor the younger males. It would not happen. Why don't brothers reach out?
Man.
Why don't, so if she can add to that question, meaning like, why don't brothers reach out as far as asking for help?
Yes.
Bashea just told you. We were not taught to ask for help.
Yeah.
And
we
when we
taught to try to
ask
figure
for
it out.
help, somebody questioned our masculinity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
So
here's the other thing too, like, and I'm so glad that we connected because there's no competition, right?
Yeah.
Collaboration, like compliment each other, all those good spaces.
Yeah.
But that's not always there.
I know it.
I remember when I was a young budding social worker and this black guy, he was teaching the courses, and I said, hey man, could you mentor me? He was like, I'm kind of busy. I'm trying to get mine. I'm trying to do this. And he was like, you should go and find some people like you and start a mentoring group. I said, who's leading who? And I was just like, and for years I looked for spaces to say, yo, how can I help you? How can you help me? How can we build together?
That's what I believe in.
Let's collaborate. Let's build kingdom, all this type of work. But it was so hard to find those people that were saying, like, I'm not intimidated by you. I'm not trying to take anything off your plate.
Yeah.
And we just build together. Like, it's such a beautiful thing when it happens. Look at this right here.
Yeah. And that's what's so dope about it, is because it's like, I believe in, let's create a plate and we can eat. We can have what they call it, those mukbangs, where they have all that food all everywhere. Let's all just eat, and so I love that, because that's how we've always been with each other. As part of this work, do you help men to address practical ways of vulnerability within oneself? Coach Patty said. And go to new comments, Rihanna.
Absolutely, because here's the thing. To get a man to a place of vulnerability is allowing a man to understand where his strength lies.
Right.
His strength lies in addressing unresolved issues, which would bring him to a place of vulnerability. See, a lady said something in the comment earlier, said, yeah, y'all got a lot of work to do. And because a lot of ladies are ready. You had a head start, fam. You were given a place to where you can go and join forces with your sister and sing kumbayas and write down and journal, do all those different things. Again, this is why Jesse or Bro is so powerful. Brothers are telling me, bro, I ain't never even had a black man come to me, let alone just my dad. Somebody say, man, I love you, King.
Oh yeah, we don't hear that.
And so
my dad ain't never told me he loved me.
So again,
in life.
I mean, how many? and here's the, how many times have I gotten off the phone with you?
I always say you love me every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
I don't think, again, it's nothing weird for me.
Yeah, nothing weird for me.
I'm not questioning my sexuality and masculinity. Right. And then two, there has to be an accountability, because there have been some women that have made men question their sexuality and their masculinity if they felt you were expressing some type of feminine traits. So there's a lot of work to be done. And as Bashea said, a lot of work to unpack. And it starts with seeing brothers like Bashea and I being black male therapists and black male counselors. Because let me tell you something, ladies. The demand right now for the work that is needed to be done,
it's not enough people to
the
feel
solution doesn't match the demand. So this is why I came out of private practice, so I can do the Jesse Hill, bro, and I can touch more men, because I knew I couldn't touch one black guy coming in therapy. He's getting his healing, but I'm like, no, how can I touch brothers? And that's why I wrote the journal. So here's what I would say, ladies, is pray and support. Support the healing process. You don't have to be the healer. Support the healing process, because again, there's not enough of us to represent what heal looks like. And so it has to be some grace extended. And this is why I love what I'm doing, man. And I love that we're able to do this. Because again, so let me tell you this. Even in the NFL, and I want to give even more context to ladies to say why men don't reach out. Here's why. Here's the thing. We will stand arm to arm before we stand face to face.
Break that down.
Meaning that I'll stand arm to arm because I don't want to face my brother and look at him, because to face my brother also make me have to face myself and some insecurities and fear. So to look at my brother who's doing well face to face and say, bro, you out here doing, it doesn't feel right. But I'll stand arm to arm if it's competitive. And let me tell you, it's just like in the NFL. Every day I was brought in, when I left Green Bay, when I went to the arena, I got brought in on a 2-day contract to a guy who played 7 years in the league, and they brought me in to take his position. So everything about us has always been competitive. So there's nothing that says collaboration. So why would I reach out to somebody I feel like, what you said earlier, right? You're a threat. So if you're a threat, nigga, I'm armored up. So it ain't no, what's up, King? Nah, nigga, what you want? You know what I'm saying? So to contextualize this and understand why men won't reach out, meaning that the way we have been developed, and the way we've been socialized to compete. So a brother can be down and out. I'm on the plane today, bro. Kid you not. I'm on the plane today. Brother sitting on my row starts talking to me. He's like, man, he said, bro, you must used to play ball. I said, yeah. And he was like, oh, man, okay. He said, you played fullback? I said, yeah. So he said, yeah, I heard your name. I remember you. He said, what, about 15 years? I said, yeah, about 16, 17 years ago. And so we started talking, and he started telling me about his homeboy. And he says, man, he said, bro, we need what you doing right now. So his boy played 5 years in the league. He said, man, my bro just committed suicide last year. Check this out. He said he went home. He would always isolate himself. He laid out all his paperwork, the deeds to his house, the title to his car, policies, everything, laid it all out on the table so the family can get it, and went out into the shed, stuck a shotgun in his mouth, and took his life.
Wow, what they say was
And he did this purposely so they could study his brain. So when he shot himself to where it came out the back of his head, so they could still study his brain. And if you understand CTE, a cognitive degenerative disease that a lot of players suffer from because of the traumatic impact from the helmet, the head-to-head collisions. Saying all that to say, he says, man, he kept telling him, man, hey, bro, talk to us, let us know. But he was so focused on being isolated. And here's the thing, ladies, it breaks a man's pride to say, I need help. And that's why what we're doing and the visibility that we have on social media and these speaking events is allowing brothers to see a masculine man, right? You know what I'm saying? To see a man that that looks like him, that reflects him, to say, hey man, I've been there, bro. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to pray for a dude, pray for a guy. I can't remember where we were, which leg we were on. The brother came to the mic and he said, I need help, man. And he just started crying. And I paused. And he was like, man, I'm sorry. I said, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. And so, man, I'm passionate about it, man.
I can tell. That's what I'm talking about. Shawnette Martin says, so with that being said, Jay, how do you identify a man who maybe has an hormonal imbalance or too much feminine energy as opposed to a man who is feminine and interested in the same sex? How do you differentiate the two?
Well, again, what is femininity? Like, what do you call femininity? Like, and what I'm saying is that because I played with some dudes that like they just wasn't assertive guys, but they would knock your damn head off on that field. Like they wasn't going to step up and they weren't going to lead. They wasn't no rah-rah guy. And so I think we have to be clear on what are you identifying as feminine energy.
Right.
And sometimes women calls a man who's kind of quiet feminine. And it's like, I don't think that, but I think, behavior is always going to tell you where someone is.
Right.
Now, if you see a guy,
walking around with dresses on and makeup.
Or you see a guy who's overly
very flamboyant.
Yeah. You speak to that, Bashea.
People be scared to talk about that. They're like, I ain't gonna get canceled. I ain't gonna say that.
I think it really all depends, though. Like, again, who determines what femininity is? Like, if that man is comfortable in his skin, like I think about the rapper Cameron, right? When nobody was supposed to wear pink. He's rocking pink.
Oh, yeah.
You think he's feminine because he's rocking pink? It was like about colors, about the certain ways that you move and something like that. So it's really, and you're talking about hormones. Now you get into the medical stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the skills to determine that, and that's something that maybe a doctor.
You said that too. Yeah. Hormonal imbalance. Like, and again, a hormonal imbalance from a physiological state is usually associated with some form of trauma or something that is cognitive that is taking place. And I don't know how you just discern that. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody has a hormonal imbalance.
Yeah. Because
I guess you're just talking about he acting too feminine. Listen, real quickly, I want y'all to take a moment. Send a link, invite some people to watch this live right now. Text it to your friends. That's what y'all saw me doing a minute ago. I was putting it on my IG stories, letting people know that we're live right now. Bashea, if y'all have a time, do that. I know you posted something before we went live, but let them know we got almost 600 people on this live right now. Matter of fact, let's go and do it. Yeah, you said we're gonna speak.
Let's get 1,000.
Let's get 1,000 on this bad boy. But yeah, again, we're gonna drop this StreamYard link. Join the live conversation. Let's have a conversation. And a lot of y'all been wanting to be on the podcast. Here's your chance. Y'all always DM me saying, how do I get on the podcast? Well, here it is. This is how you get on here. So jump on, give us feedback, ask questions. If you just want to jump on for a couple of seconds and give a comment about how the podcast has been changing your life, then you feel free to do that. Oluchi says, wondering if masculinity needs to be redefined to allow men to express themselves emotionally. 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
And when we talk about that too, we're talking about modeling.
Yes.
That was one of the things that I did many years ago. I'm going to model what it looks like to be, I say a present man, right? I'm present with my emotions. If I'm emotionally connected to something right now, I'm not afraid to show it. If I need to be tough, I need to have my brawn on, I have that on. If I need to be connected to emotionally, whether it's with my son, like I'm going to show the emotional connection I have with my son.
Yes.
Like my son, he knows I will cry if I need to.
Me too.
My wife knows I'm emotionally connected. My family knows that.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but that doesn't mean I can't get my job done. That doesn't mean when we talk about how I love my wife is not how the same. It's not going to be the same way that I handle confrontation. If somebody comes to me and threatens me, I have a decision to make.
Yes.
And so I can protect my wife and I can protect myself in a way that I need to protect myself at all times.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make an irrational decision because I'm emotionally distraught or I don't know what I need to do at that particular moment. But yeah, masculinity is what you think it is for you. It's not tied to the picture that somebody else has put on the wall or the image or whatever has been taught throughout society to us men that you have to be tough. And that's all that masculinity is.
Valamir said, great response. Valamir says, what are the best ways women can support men when it's hard for them to ask for help?
I think I get that question a lot. And I'm not saying this because I wrote the book, but this is why I wrote the book, because I know that that's difficult for brothers. Like a brother asked me last night, says, Jay, when you were on your second suicide attempt for you, what was it or what someone could have said
to stop you?
And I said, for me, I never had anybody ask me how was I feeling. I had a lot of people ask me how was I doing, but not how was I feeling. And so I even talked about Lawrence, like the one thing about Lawrence, man, he gonna text you, good brother, how is your heart? Like he gonna ask me that once a week. And the way that you can support ladies is, I've been telling ladies, send them a copy of Just Heal, bro.
Yeah.
And I wrote it strategically that it's not a long read.
Nah.
And it's maybe like 120, maybe 130 at the most, if I'm right. But and just putting it on a table or say, hey, I got something for you, or check this out.
He gonna get curious and be like, what's this?
He gonna be curious. Because the one thing about men, we will respond to a man who speaks our language.
100%.
And sometimes women
can't speak
the language, and the language you're speaking can become agitated.
And he starts being rebellious towards you because
he'll shut down.
Yeah.
I think one of the things with my book, right? So I used to get hundreds of comments from women out front. But the men used to be in my DMs like, bro, this is exactly what I need to tell my girl.
See,
this is exactly what I need to tell my wife.
It's the same thing with this podcast. I'll be like, man, I'll go and I'm going to say it again. I want people to submit videos to say how the podcast has impacted them. Well, women always respond, and then a man won't record a video and say it.
Yeah.
But they'll DM me all the time and be like, I'm going through this. This is helping me, this. And I'll be like, well, where you at? Like, why you hide so much?
I remember one of the things I was taking a client to a visit one day. And this couple walked up to me. He was like, oh, you're the Dear Future Wife guy, right? It was like, babe, I told you need to get his book. He looking at me like this. It's like, you don't put him on the spot like that. Give him an opportunity. Sit the book down there, babe. Let's read this together, because it challenges both sides. My book isn't just about what men need. It's about what women need as well. It's a conversation between the two. And it's a journal. He said that he was like, yeah, you need to be more like him. I was like,
oh man, you can't do that.
That's not what I don't tell people. You need to be about like me. I don't say that. So
I'm trying not to be like me.
Yeah, and then just really, like, if I cannot say this a lot, handle that space with such care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, handle it with such care and with such etiquette, because it's such a sensitive and delicate space.
Yeah.
Because see, here's the thing, ladies, our emotions are our prized possessions.
Yes, it is.
Our emotions are our prized possession. Do you know when I said last night I was flowing and I said, bro, I get it. you don't want to say how you really feel because you don't want this to be used as a weapon against you.
Right.
That's what we all fear, ladies, because we understand that a man is stronger and and a man has more power over a woman physically, but we also know that you have so much power in your tongue,
hurt us
in your tongue, that you can cut deep. And that's why a lot of brothers, because I've seen this happen in therapy. I would never forget this case where this couple, the lady talked, the wife talked, and she talked, and the husband just sat there. And she says, he's such a laid back, mild mannered guy, but I'm just not understanding, like, what's the shift in him? What's the change in him? And I said, okay. So I said, I want to hear from you. He starts talking. He says, man, Jay, and the brother was open. She cut him off the first time. She cut him off. And I said, no, let him finish his thought. And he said to her, he said, babe, can you let me? He said, I didn't interrupt you while you was talking. And when she was talking, he wasn't making faces like, damn, he wasn't doing none of that. He was really allowing her to speak.
Yeah.
The second time he started back talking, this is what I'm saying. He don't, and I said, just let him finish. Now, the third time she interrupted him, he said, hey, can you please be quiet and let me finish? You know what this lady said to me? Jay, look, he's a monster. But you had just said to me that he was a laid back, gentle guy.
Yeah.
And that's the fear.
Yeah.
Is that when I start talking and saying how I feel and it doesn't line up with your ideas and what you think about yourself, now you feel some type of way.
What did you say? What did you tell them?
So what happened is the brother just said, man, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And he says, bro, he said, we've been married 10 years. He said, man, I love my wife, Jay. But he says, man, I cannot continue that when I want to open, I'm shut down. I'm not heard. My feelings are not validated. He said, bro, I hear how she feels. I begin to cater to that. But when I start to express how I feel, I'm shut down. And that's the common thread of why brothers won't open up. Because I'm going to tell you where it started at first, at home with your mama.
Yeah.
That the first time, it happened with me and my mom. The first time I'm like, nah, mama, I don't feel like, oh, shut up.
Yep.
And so that teaches you what you feel don't matter.
Yep.
But you better pay attention to how
I feel
and your sisters. So we have been programmed and again socialized to invalidate our own feelings.
But even our dads say the same things too, right?
Yeah.
They tell them to suck it up.
Well, because
be a man as
drop
a young
them at
boy.
the Riley's comment on
because because somebody told the dad, hey, just go to work, provide, lay a little pipe every now and then.
Yeah.
But the moment you start talking about how you feel,
Right. And we think that's all we got to do too.
Yeah.
Go to work, bring home the money,
and lay it down in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Kitchen, the bedroom, Flo. Kitchen, the bedroom. Let's bring Calvin on. Calvin Copeland. Calvin.
I got a lot going on in the background. All the wires.
Hey, Calvin.
He was just there.
He just got up.
But go ahead and take him off the stream and wait till he gets back. I thought he was just stood up. All right. Our words, our tone are important. Exactly. Especially single mothers. True, Jay. Again, you want to join the live? There's a StreamYard link somewhere up there, and jump in. Leslie Wynn, how do you reach a teenage young man who deals with depression and refuses therapy? He's going to have to get therapy. See, y'all talk about that.
I think we talked about modeling, like give them access to people who are in the process or who are in therapy, who talk about therapy, other men who look like him, that can relate to him. There's a lot of different things in music that encourages therapy. There's a lot of conversations that we're having that encourages therapy. Maybe you position it as a coach. Yeah. I've had some people say, hey, my son doesn't really want therapy. He wants more of a coach. Okay, right. Well, I can coach him and we can talk about that aspect of life too. Mentoring. There's clinical mentoring as well, where it doesn't seem like I'm in therapy, but I know something is wrong because the same things keep happening over and over again. I'm in this rut. So again, modeling, putting them in spaces where there are people who look like him that can relate to him, that speak the same language.
Good. Calvin. Lord Calvin. Yeah, you heard me.
Hey there,
you heard me right there, didn't you, Calvin?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hold on a second. I'm here.
Come on, Earl Campbell.
Hold on a second.
All right.
Earl Campbell.
You want me to come back to you?
I can hear you.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to turn off that one audio and hear me from the
No, I'm
StreamYard.
here. I can hear you.
But you can't try to look at yourself.
But you can't play me in the background and then listen to me. It's gonna distract you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Calvin, you look like Earl Campbell, man. Did you play ball?
Y'all have a little patience with me. I'm trying to get this audio right.
All right. All
Can you
right,
hear me
old Calvin. Yes.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is that the loudest it can be? What are you?
I'm just on my iPad.
Okay, that'll work.
Is that good?
It'll work. Just try to talk as loud as possible. So,
Okay.
you have a question? You have a comment, Calvin?
Yeah. Question/comment. Can you be effective in marriage if you don't understand the purpose for marriage?
Wow.
Wow.
Can you be effective in marriage if you don't even know the purpose of marriage?
Right. And while you're kind of contemplating, I'll give you a little bit of my background. I am 33 years married to my childhood sweetheart, who I fell in love with when I was 12 years old. And we have only been with each other. And I know that sounds crazy.
Sounds beautiful to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it is beautiful. But on my 30th wedding anniversary, my daughter gave us 2 presents. The first present was a trip to Kabul. Yes, Lord. Okay.
Yeah.
And the second was a video celebrating our 30-year anniversary from family and friends. And that was right at the beginning of COVID. And so we didn't get a chance to go on that vacation until our 32nd wedding anniversary. But what happened between my 30th and my 32nd anniversary is I kept getting people calling and texting, congratulating for the 30 years. But they would also say this, man, how do you do it? And I'd say, do what? They said, y'all don't just look married, y'all still look like y'all like each other. Y'all still look like y'all on your honeymoon. And I found myself telling these stories of my courting days that I now understand. I think I've identified what the purpose of marriage is. And I'm like this, if you don't understand the purpose of something, you're destined to abuse it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so fast forward to, and you guys have all heard this scripture before, but you're in Ephesians, right? And, it starts off Ephesians, the fifth chapter, I think the 18th verse, 19th verse. Submit ye one to another.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'll be honest. The first time I went to look at that scripture is because I had to argue with my wife, and I wanted to show her some stuff. And so, but one of the things that I've always done when I read scriptures is I read the scripture before and after. And so it said, submit you one to another. Then it said, wives, submit to your husband. I said, that's the one I'm looking for. That's the one. But then I got to the 25th, and it said, husband, love your wives as Christ loves the church, washing her with the water of the word, removing all wrinkles, stains, and blemishes, to present her back to yourself. Long story short is this.
Yeah.
I no longer go argue with her about her submitting to me. Because I understood that my job as the husband was to wash her with the word until her wrinkles, stains, and blemishes are removed. But now I got wrinkles, stains, and blemishes too now.
Yeah.
But that's when the Lord showed me. He said, "Listen, you're the bride and the groom. You're the groom to your wife, but you're the bride of Christ."
Yeah.
So now she can wash me just like I can wash her.
Yeah.
And so I began to realize once again from my 30th to my 32nd wedding anniversary that the purpose of marriage ultimately is about removing wrinkles, stains, and blemishes. It's about healing each other's heart. Now, I'll go back a little bit further. 14 years old. I'm sitting in church, and preacher started the sermon by saying this. He said, half of the people that get married get divorced. And then he said, it doesn't matter if you're saved or not. And I got mad. I thought, what am I doing in here if you having the same success as the world? So at 14, I started looking through the scriptures, and I found where the religious folks was trying to trip Jesus up. And Jesus responded by saying this: Moses allowed divorce because of hardening of heart, but from the beginning, it was never supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
So I hear you brothers talking about really the wounded places and the hard places that are in men's hearts, right? And the way that we protect them in our strength. Because until I have a relationship with Christ, I'm going to protect myself. I don't know about you, but I'm going to protect myself.
That's good.
But here's what happened at 14, and I'll be done, and I'll let you guys go on. But at 14, I read that scripture, and once again, I didn't realize this at 14, and I did not realize it necessarily the first 30 years of my marriage. But having to talk to people about how we have been as successful in our relationship as possible, I realized that I started making decisions at 14, considering my now wife's heart.
Talk about it. Tell me what you did.
So we met in church, right? And 14, I had no game. I wasn't asking for a number, nothing like that. But
yeah.
Other girls would come into the church, and they say, the new girl like you, Calvin. And I say, I don't want to upset Elise. And once again, I'm not thinking about it, but I am considering if she sees me with this new girl, that she gonna get upset. So then I'm 16 years old and we're finally dating. But I lived in the suburbs, she lived in the city. So my little crazy hips, I said, well, can I have me a week time girlfriend and a weekend girlfriend? But once again, I thought, but it would hurt her. Now mind you, I'm a 16-year-old boy, raging hormones, all of that, right? So here was the other gift that I found, is that's when I started arguing with God. Let me rephrase that. That's when I started building my relationship with God.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I couldn't be honest with fellas, when I couldn't be honest in the gym and in the locker room and at the barbershop, I could be honest with God about, well, why you got me with these raging hormones and I'm supposed to be in control and I'm supposed to do all of this stuff. But the thing that saved me and the thing that kept my heart was I was considering her heart.
Yeah. Now,
we have been talking here recently around how love can last forever. And while Elise and I have been talking about it, she said, Calvin, I've been wanting to work at, I've always wanted to work at our marriage, but I don't know that I ever thought about caring for your heart. And so we've had some real conversations around what that tangibly looks like, kind of thing. And it's been a blessing to us. And in fact, I've talked to probably a half a dozen couple friends that I have that I know. And as I've talked to them about this, what I believe is the purpose of marriage, they've all said, you know what, we've been doing that too, but I don't know that we labeled it. I don't know that we defined it, kind of thing. And then I said, man, can you imagine if all of us on the day we got married, we had that conversations with our spouses? That our purpose for coming together was not building and birthing and buying, but it was about healing each other's heart.
Yes.
Now, all the other stuff can come with it.
Yeah.
But man, I can think about arguments that I've had with my wife, and if I understood that concept like in the forefront of my mind, arguments would have been so different, because I would have been looking for the wounded places. I would have been looking for the hurt places, instead of, acting like I'm in the locker room.
Calvin, quick question: what city are you in?
I'm in San Antonio.
Oh, you in Texas? All right. So, are you in ministry?
I am. I'm actually a pastor, and I actually just started a podcast.
Somebody just commented and said you need your own podcast.
Come on, Pastor Calvin. Bless us. Amen.
Yeah, because I felt a pastoral anointing over you
Absolutely.
as you done
Yeah.
took us from the beginning to the end of the sermon. I was like, all right, I felt like I couldn't even interrupt you. I was like, I guess Calvin, go ahead and preach then. You know, a
and
lot
I'll
of
say
people
this, and
find
then
value in what you said.
I really do hope that it felt like the word was alive in my relationship and not just preachy.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I find at church is folks won't come to church because they don't want to be preached at, but they surely want to see the word alive in people's lives.
Yes.
And
What's the name of your podcast, Calvin?
Say it again.
What's the name of your podcast?
How Love Can Last Forever After All.
Yeah.
How love can last forever after what?
After all.
After all.
But I was going to say, man, I like what he just said, that he didn't want to just focus on preaching it, that he wanted to live it, man.
Yes.
That's how you get people. You're not getting people to buy into God. You're getting people to buy into the word.
Yes, sir.
You buy into the word, it leads you to God.
It'll never fail.
And people, and that's what people want to see, because I now have a belief system centered around it works. And most people fear marriage, even in the church, is not because marriage doesn't work. They've never seen it work.
Yes.
So I don't have this motivation or this inspiration to say, hey, I want to go after marriage.
Yeah.
So Brother Calvin, man, bless you, King, for your wisdom.
Yes.
And you know, and just for you sharing, because you know, that's one of the things. I'm a pastor's son. My dad's been pastoring 30 years. And for me to hear you express that.
Yeah.
But then here's what I like. At 32, you're also re-narrating your marriage all over again.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You can always re-narrate and authorize a new story. And that's what keeps you growing in the relationship.
I love that, Jay. You preaching. Listen, Calvin, I want to extend an invitation for you to come on the Dear Future Wifey podcast. I want you and your wife, your bride, your queen, to come on the podcast to Dallas, Texas. If you can make your way to Dallas, Texas, let me know when. We're going to be starting season 5 in about a month or so. And so I love to sit at the feet of wisdom. And so I love that. Where your wife? You bringing in there? Tell your wife to come on over here.
My wife is the quiet one. I got to
get her to open up.
But I will tell you this, man. Part of my podcast has been from your inspiration.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, through the pandemic, when I got enough of this Netflix and Hulu and all that kind of stuff, I started identifying podcasts. And I can't remember which episode it was that I saw, but I love the content. But more importantly, in conjunction with what I've been going through these last 3 years now, because we'll be celebrating 33 in October, is getting this new revelation relative to how to explain it, what the purpose is. And I'm like this, Doc. You know, you have these conversations about who's the greatest, Jordan or who somebody else.
Yeah, Kobe and stuff, and the Jordan
argument
and LeBron.
That Jordan can always lean on is that he's always won championships, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not here to debate who's the best basketball player, but I'll say this: we need to know what the end goal of the game is. See, today we do all of this. What's it called when they pick their teams and fantasy football? We do fantasy football stuff, and we lock in all the stats, and so you get all these players and get all these great stats, but they're not winning nothing. And so part of the reason is you lose sight. The purpose of the game is to win the game.
Yeah,
it ain't to get your highlight reel, but and so I think in marriage, if we don't understand that the purpose of marriage is really for our healing, and to be facilitators of our spouse's healing, then we're doomed to end in destruction.
Yes. So well, that's good, man.
I'm honored, and I don't know how to get in touch with you. I guess I can DM you.
Yeah, DM me.
I would love it.
Yeah, you can go to the contact section of the YouTube channel and email me from there. Send me your contact information, and I'll call you. We'll chop it up.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate the day to come. I didn't take too much.
Yo, we need this blessing. I love it when we get wisdom. When wisdom come on, we fall back to that. So thank you, Pastor Calvin.
That's why I call him Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell right there. All right. Let's bring up, what's your name? Turn your
You're
microphone
you're
on.
on mute, ma'am.
Oh, my bad. I'm
There we
sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we
Yes.
can. What's your name?
This is Tori from South Carolina. I just wanted to say congratulations. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And Lateris, let me make you remember me. You remember
Okay.
I was on your podcast and I told you that I was molested at 7, raped at 19, and sexually assaulted at 41. So
Oh, you were on my live on IG.
yes. Actually, I
Yes.
was on your live on YouTube. I think it was you were celebrating.
Oh, in the earlier times of the
Yes.
podcast. Oh yeah, you
Yes.
messed me up. I couldn't even. Yeah, I remember you said that. That was just so heavy. I didn't even know how to respond to that. Like that's a lot. But it shows the amazing, miraculous hand of God for you to be able to say that and be able to like. That's a powerful thing to come through the fire and not smell like smoke. To be able to stand and be able to speak that truth. Again, I salute you, Queen. But go ahead.
It was because of you that I'm able to do that.
Why you say that? Tell me why you say that.
Because that was the first time I publicly said it. And it started my healing process. So I just want to say thank you. And watching Jay is helping me be able to learn my son because I'm a single mom. And I watch Jay all the time. And that's helping me with my son because his father is not around. So I didn't want to cry, but I just want to simply say thank you. I just want to come on and listen and just say thank you. And I appreciate all you guys are doing because it's blessing me.
Whew. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, boy. Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
don't make me cry.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Sister
saying.
Tori.
Like,
Ooh,
And
listen, I already got a birthday coming up. Shoot, next Friday, a week from today.
yeah.
I'm already emotional. Turning 40.
How you lead right now?
Hey, pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
pretty good.
Your birthday is on Friday.
Pretty good.
The pain just gonna kick in when we turn 40.
Yeah.
But listen, man, thank you so much. Wow, that's amazing. I really
Miss
appreciate
Tori, do you have Just Heal Bro book?
I don't.
So if you can DM me, I will DM me today so I can get it. Send your son name and your address. I'll send a message, put a message in the book, and I'll ship it out in the morning.
Good.
Okay. I appreciate that. And you
Yes,
guys
ma'am.
continue to do what you're doing. And I'm in South Carolina. And Lateris, I would love to have all of you on my podcast, but I'm just starting out my podcast. But I'm still going through my healing process. And I'm actually in the process myself. I want to do ministry because I made a choice to abstain. When you did the podcast about the purity, I've been through a lot of toxic relationships. So now I made the decision to abstain and I'm not entertaining anyone. I'm just deeply in my word. But your podcast is helping more than you know. And like I said, Jay, I follow you on IG and just your clips and the things that you do are helping me as well. And I thought that was so cool how you give yourself flowers. I thought that was so different and so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. But I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. When you think that you're not doing anything, trust me, you're doing a lot. So I just simply want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. And like I said, it's helping me hearing the male point of views, being a single parent, raising a son. And my son is 16. So with his father not being there, a lot of the information that you guys are providing is helping me to understand him. So I just simply wanted to say thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Jay, I will definitely about you.
And then also, Charlemagne, we haven't announced it, but Charlemagne is bringing the Just Heal Bro to Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, wow. When?
Yes. So this summer.
Okay.
So yeah, we haven't announced that yet, but yeah, we will be in Charleston, South Carolina and Columbia. So that's
what's the age range of the
10 and up.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
10
awesome.
and up.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
10 and up. Yeah, we
And
got them all,
Columbia is
young and
actually-
old.
Columbia is actually an hour away from me, so Columbia would be perfect.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
So that'd be dope. So listen, thank you so much. You blessed all of us. Make sure that you also follow Bashea. He has an amazing queen. If you ever want to look at what a kingdom marriage looks like,
I
you'll
saw that
gain a lot
podcast as well. I just really honestly did not want to mispronounce his name.
Oh yeah,
It's so good. Thank you.
Bashea. It's
Oh,
Bashea.
you call it B Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the podcast, and that blessed me as well. And like I said, I really didn't know how to pronounce his name.
It's okay. Thank you.
It's Bashea. So check them out on Instagram. Follow that. They
sure
post a
will.
lot of amazing content. So thank you
Okay.
so much for joining us. Again, y'all, if y'all want to jump on this live stream, we'll be here about 30 more minutes, and we're gonna wrap this up. But yeah, if you want to jump on the live stream, you've always wanted to be on the podcast. I get DMs all the time. Here's your opportunity. Come share. If y'all saw a super chat that dropped, that's how you bless the podcast to say you've been enjoying the content and whatnot. And so feel free to super chat. I see Calvin.
You know, it was one day I told you posted about getting yourself flowers.
Mhm.
I had a really long day. I had maybe 8 clients. I was tripping. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get me some flowers. I got me some flowers. And I'm allergic to all of them things. I was in the house sneezing and I was all swollen up. I was like, oh man.
You never knew you was allergic to flowers?
Not all of them, because I get my wife flowers all the time. I get her roses all the time, roses and tulips. So I tried to do the whole put together joint. I got home and I was like, what is going on in here?
So what is it? A certain type of flower you're allergic to?
It's a whole bunch of stuff. Like if I had an allergy test done, I'm allergic to the trees, grass.
Well, allergic to air.
Yeah. I should be in a bubble. I should be a bubble boy.
But beyond, the allergic reaction, what was that feeling for you?
Oh, it was good. Like I created a 31-day self-care calendar when I was really going through it.
Yeah.
And one of those things is try something new that you've never done before that you don't think a man should do for you.
Oh, that's good.
And that was on one of the days. So that just reminded me to get back into that. So that was dope.
Yeah. And I just want to say too, to Bashea, he and I connected some years ago, and just to see how God has restored you, bro.
Yeah.
When I tell you, it's been encouraging, inspirational, and it's been impactful from my life watching from a distance. And I just want to honor you even now, man. I'm so happy, bro,
I appreciate
that you have love, you have the safe space, you have the support, you have your queen to stand beside you, man, as you're doing amazing work, bro. I cannot be, man, it's just blessed my spirit, bro. Every time I see something with you and your wife, or just seeing you by yourself, because I know as you're standing by yourself in an event, I know what's behind you, and I know what you get to go home to.
Yeah.
And for somebody to allow you to be a lamb at home. And that's why I said, man, masculinity has duality in it.
Yes.
And that's why when we open up the Just Heal Bro, there's a video that's so powerful, man, where the dude who did it for us sound like James Earl Jones. And he says at the end, black man, you are both a lion and a lamb. And when I think I don't know, was it me and you that was on a podcast when I first said that?
Yeah.
But is having, because so many times we're cheered on for our roar, or we're criticized for our roar.
Yeah.
But what happens when we cry?
Right.
That's good.
Right.
Rihanna, put that comment back up there.
And so,
that's
man,
a good transition for Bashea to answer. Ms. Wells says, if a single man is looking for his purpose partner, is it important that he finds a woman that already knows her purpose, Bashea?
Absolutely. So it was funny because Brother Calvin was talking about that. I was that 14-year-old boy who was starving to have partnership and connection.
At 14?
Yeah, at 14, 16, I was missing that. And I said, you know what? I want to have this relationship. But because I didn't know myself, and because I was so pressed to have a relationship with someone else, that I negated my relationship with myself. I negated my relationship with God, that I tried to fit people in spaces where they couldn't fit. I tried to submit to things and to people who didn't deserve that. And at the time, I needed to give myself that. So I didn't know who I was. So we're talking about knowing who you want to be and knowing the relationship that you have. Make sure that you have it, because I talk about spiritual infidelity. Right? I'm praying with somebody else, but I'm lacking the prayer life in my own with God. Right? So I'm relying on that. So finding someone that's already in their purpose, and they could be in their purpose, and you can realize I'm in my purpose, you're in a purpose, our purpose don't align.
There it is.
And be okay with that. Because if you don't know what your purpose is, you can see somebody in purpose and be like, let me attach myself to theirs. And then you lose yourself in that connection. Or vice versa. So it's definitely important to understand somebody's already in a purpose and you're in yours.
Love Daily says, can you explain why boundaries are mistaken for insecurity when how a person expresses how they feel?
I'm trying to understand that question.
Yeah. It said boundaries are mistaken for insecurity. Add context and drop that, and we'll be able to add to that.
So maybe she's talking about the earlier question, or he or she, I'm not sure who it is, when they were talking about when you're setting boundaries with women, right? Like it's me, you asked me the question, how do I set a boundary with women?
Yeah.
If my wife would say, you know what, I don't think that's appropriate. Is that an insecurity or is that a boundary?
Oh, okay.
So maybe she's talking about that.
Well, that's good. That's good. We're going to bring in, again, y'all want to jump on? We're finna wrap this up shortly. Another 25 minutes. Let's see, she got the camera together. All right. Liberty.
She in the car. Come on, tie-dye.
Liberty, can you hear us?
Liberty neutral.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's a little faint, but we're going to work with it.
Okay, hold on. I can turn it up. Sorry, guys. I'm out here in these Dallas streets. Out here in these Dallas streets.
Flip your phone horizontal. Your camera ain't gonna go. There it is. What dog? You went upside down. There it is. Yeah.
Come on, Liberty Neutral. You got them kids in the car. I know them kids hungry.
Yes, we out here at Walmart in the parking lot. Just pulled up, okay?
Well, good. We ain't gonna hold you too long because them kids gonna start acting crazy. So, Liberty, what you join us to say?
So, a few years ago, I had gone through a divorce, and I had made up in my mind after that divorce that I was done. I was like, Lord, I don't think I could ever do that again. And I was just going through this healing process. And I was at work. I was working at Walmart, and I would listen to podcasts during my work. And so I just randomly came across Heal, Brother, Heal, the podcast. Yeah. And I decided that I didn't want to get married again because I didn't think that there were men going through the healing process. And after I watched that podcast, it really encouraged, it dropped some seeds of hope that there are men out here healing and I could possibly get married again. And so I just want to thank you guys for having the conversation, because those aren't conversations that we see often, right? We don't see men talking about being vulnerable. We don't see men talking about healing. We don't see men talking about their hurts. We don't see men talking about their heart. And so after listening to that, I just really started going deeper with the Lord. And then finally, I was actually watching Jesus in Therapy. I remember December 2020. And as I finished that segment, the Lord was like, you will get married again.
There it is.
I really want to thank you guys for the seeds of hope that you dropped in my heart. And the healing process has been so awesome, watching the podcast, even watching Bashea and his wife and their ministry on how love aligns. So I truly believe that love can align for me again. Thank you guys.
Great.
Yeah, he's not far either, Miss Liberty. I don't know. I just feel that in the atmosphere.
What?
The guy she's going to meet soon.
Yeah.
Like, he's not far. It's on your energy is going to lead you to the right man.
Yeah.
And that energy and that healing that you're doing, I mean, you are illuminating now.
Yeah, I was about to say it's radiating on the outside, and what happens is it starts drawing.
Yeah, he's
so
near.
there's a spiritual drawing that takes place when you've gone through this healing and your mind is open. You have to think about what you said originally, where you said that I said I wasn't going to do that. God can't make nothing flow when you have a clogged up valve. Right. And so the minute you said I'm releasing this and now I have hope again, then God will meet you where you are. Yeah. Scroll up.
There's a lot of
somebody
people
said
saying
that,
the same
yeah,
thing.
Crown,
I feel
Crown
that for
Kane,
man.
Go back down.
I
Crown
feel that
Kane, throw that up there. That Liberty, you are beautiful. Crown Kane said that. The next one, she said, click on that. Your smile is so full of life.
Yeah.
She's not on it.
Yeah. So
I felt
Liberty,
that for
that's
man.
what it is.
Yeah.
You're
right about that,
Clark.
Clark.
Say thank you, bro, because I think I just started talking. I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for saying that, bro.
Oh yeah, man.
I received that, bro.
Yeah. God got so much, man, in store for you and your wife, man.
Add
it's
that to the stream.
Yeah.
Add that to the stream. I'm gonna see.
I'm not gonna go into ministry tonight. I told him I'm gonna turn it off tonight. We was in there last night. This pastor walked up to me. He said, I saw you. He said, I see you.
No, keep it up there. Jay just hold on. Keep it up there.
Go
There go. Miss Awasaka.
Is that a motorcycle?
It's hello. Hi, how are you guys?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Can you
I'm
turn
fine.
the camera down? Can you adjust the camera where you're is that
It's Awoshika. Is that
right
better?
there?
Woshika.
Awasaka.
Okay, all right.
Awasaka.
I'm well, thank you. I just wanted to say a very quick. Is that better?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
we
it's fine.
see you. We see you.
Okay.
Your hair is cute. We see you.
So where are you at?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Are you in Charlotte? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. You said you wanted to. You have a message.
Thank you. I just wanted to say something very quickly. Yeah. So what I have realized is that men and women are going through the exact same things, but because we've been trained not to hear each other, we don't realize that we're saying the exact same things, and it's just like we're just bouncing off of each other. I had an issue with my son. I have a 16-year-old, and I had to break my pride down and apologize to him. It was 2 days of just not talking. And when I apologized to him, he said, Mom, everything that you were saying is exactly how I felt.
Yep.
And so I had to apologize, allow him to speak, and then just understand that we're in this together. And it was only the Holy Spirit, because literally he just showed me 2 days of us really not speaking. Anything could have happened. And so for parents, whether you are unmarried or married, we have to realize that our children are just mini mirrors of us. And even the traits that we have that we don't like, unless we deal with them, we will perpetrate them on our children unknowingly and unintentionally, but the damage is still there. But I'm just grateful that God got a hold of me to apologize and to talk and to heal. Because children can throw our words back at us. He did that to me.
Right.
But it's better. And we ended on a very positive note. So I just say thank you for this, because it's not just grown men. If we can catch ourselves as parents with our children, hopefully when they get to you guys' age, there's nothing or very little to work out. And I am complete in my comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. All right, Rihanna, go back to comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And let's get Leslie into the stream. How you doing, Leslie?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Where are you calling in from?
From
How you doing,
Florida.
Leslie?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, turn off the other feed.
How you doing, Leslie?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Turn off the other feed. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I'm only on my laptop, but for some reason I was like everything else is turned off. I can hear you. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm only on my laptop, but for some reason I was like
I don't know what's going on.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I'm
I
only
thought it
on
was
my
Vivian
laptop,
Banks
but
for a
some
second.
reason I was like everything was going on. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I
I'm sorry,
promise
I'm
you,
only on my laptop,
this is off.
but
I'm sorry. I don't know.
like
Okay.
everything was going on.
Disconnect and come back.
I'm sorry, I'm only on my laptop,
This is off. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Disconnect. All right.
I thought that was Vivian Banks. You look like Vivian Banks.
Who's Vivian Banks?
From
That's my freshman.
Oh,
the Fresh
Vivian.
Prince.
You talking about?
Yeah,
The first one.
the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Vivian Banks. That's what I thought it was. I was like, dang, Laterra's got a set. The celebrities chiming in. She looks just like Vivian Banks.
You do. Yeah, when
Who
y'all
is
come
beautiful, by the way. You
yes,
know,
when y'all come on the live, make sure that y'all don't have a double feed going. No, we already have Love Daily before.
Love, she
Oh, yeah,
posted
question.
a comment, a question. Come on,
Love
Love
Daily.
Daily, give us some context.
Y'all
Hi,
come on
can
with.
you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
I
can't
wanted
see
to.
you.
Yeah, why we can't see you?
Well, I put the look, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, you ain't
Presentation
got
for
your
me
wig
is
on?
everything. I don't have my wig on, but I work from home and I just got off work. I am streaming you all on TV and I'm watching you from my bed.
All
But
right, well,
this is
cool.
some really, really great content. But I was trying to, my question that I was asking, just trying to get clarity. When understanding the difference between trying to explain someone how to set a boundary and because you're explaining how to set a boundary, them not receiving it as you being insecure.
Be
That's
specific. What boundary were you trying to
okay.
tell them to set?
So with my mate, coming into the relationship, fully transparent, I have nothing, to hide or anything like that. But, the female friend, and I'm using air quotes when I say female friend, I believe in those areas, boundaries need to be set. There should be a certain time where you should not be receiving text messages or phone calls, or there should be a certain type of conversation. Just as a woman, there's no way that I would disrespect any of my male friends by sending, calling late or being out of line with content in your text message or being disrespectful or anything like that. So it's just like, I feel like when you are entering in a relationship, and if this is a relationship that you want to see grow, boundaries at some point are going to have to be set. But when you explain the boundaries, how do you not explain it to where it's coming off as, well, I think you're just being insecure. This is just my friend, or, it's nothing like that. Yes, I trust my man, but let's be honest. Some women can be very conniving. Some women can be very petty when they know that their male friend is not as available as he would have been when he was single.
All right, so
That's so
good.
true.
Bashea, I want you to talk about that because you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with insecurity. It has a lot to do with control. Maybe he doesn't want to release that control of that relationship. So some men, when they come into relationships, they don't want to release the things that have been keeping them going, right? If I have a friend, like one of the things I said, like my friends at a certain time, when I was just courting my wife, we stopped communicating at a certain time. Even in my singlehood, I stopped communicating at a certain time because
Yep.
I wanted to be available for that partner that I'm going to be in relationship with. So if he's saying that you're just insecure, then there needs to be another conversation from you and what you feel like it's okay for you to accept in that relationship.
Mhm.
You don't have to keep telling him this is not okay for you. You have to tell yourself this is not okay with you. And then you tell yourself this is not an okay relationship for you. So you have to make that decision. If he doesn't want to honor those boundaries, because that's definitely a secure boundary. That's not an insecure boundary.
Yeah.
That's something that feeds the relationship. Anytime we're given access to our relationships at certain hours, at certain times, consistently, when it's disrespecting the relationship, that woman is not even respecting the relationship. Like, even as a woman, they should know to back down. My homeboy is in a relationship now, so let me respect his process.
Yes.
So it
Right,
comes from
right.
all areas of you guys developing that
I
connection.
talk about that all the time to some of my female friends, and they'll say, "Why don't you call me as much as you should call me?" I say, "You're in a relationship." But I mean, we still friends. I said, "I respect the dude that you. I'm not going to be calling you. I'm just not about to do that. Like it's just
Yeah.
not going to go down like that."
And
Go
it's
ahead.
just like, I'm sorry. And first of all, thank you all for having this platform. I love what you all are doing, especially giving that male perspective to women. But I was sharing with him, I have a guy brother who I've grown up with since childhood. Like, we know each other front and back, side to side. But once he is in a relationship and now he's married to a beautiful woman, there is no way in the world that I would be calling him after a certain time. I'm not texting him unless it's a deathly life and death emergency or something like that. And
Yeah.
even then, it has to be something really tragic. It's just a matter of respect. And I just wish that people would learn to respect relationships and partnerships. And when they see people, being genuinely happy, you know, when this person was single, you had all the opportunity in the world to hang out, kick it, text relate. And it's just like now they're in a situation
Now they
or
want
in
to
a
do brunch.
relationship.
Wanna do
Now you
brunch?
want to do
No
brunch.
brunches.
Hey,
No brunches.
you know,
No,
and
I'm
what
not.
if,
I don't even
and
want to do brunch as, bro. I like as a
yeah,
single man. Like, just I mean, like meaning like you don't have anybody to check in with. It's just like I'm like Bashea, man. Like I operate like this now, single. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't believe in talking late after hours if we're not romantically involved.
Yeah.
Like it's just
yeah,
no point for it. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times and Bashea hit it on the head, is that if it starts getting, if you get pushback as if you're insecure, you know
There's a
now
problem.
there's an issue with them not understanding that these boundaries are a form of self-respect towards yourself.
There it is.
That right there.
There it is.
absolutely,
There it
And
is.
I can't lose respect for myself.
There
And
it
I'm
is.
sorry.
Yes,
absolutely.
100%. But listen,
And
thank you so much. Thank you for being transparent and keeping it lit. Let's bring up, what happened to Leslie? She popped up a while ago. Deborah, is there any way, well, you'll keep your phone like that. It's fine. How you doing, Deborah?
Oh, I'm great, thanks. Oh my goodness, I'm on. Okay.
Deborah,
Good evening,
Deborah, you
everyone.
ready for brunch, ain't you? Look at you. You got that tango on? Come on, Deborah.
Deborah, what city are you in?
I'm in Yonkers, New York. Yo, baby.
Okay, I'm from the Bronx, so
Okay. Right up the block. Well, the Bronx used to be a part of Westchester County. So anyway,
Right.
that's another subject.
There it
But
is.
I
A little
just want
history lesson.
to I just want to thank you so much for the Dear Future Wifey podcast and every Black podcast. I am definitely buying your book, all of your books, because I'd like to support you, but I also want to help my son. I have a 34-year-old son. I also have 7 grandchildren, and 5 of them are boys. And I want him to be able to have a healthy relationship with his sons. He did not have that healthy relationship with his dad. And so tonight, like the revelation just hit me like bricks. And I'm so excited and elated to be able to share with him what you guys have been sharing tonight. And I'm so glad that your platform is reaching the masses. And I pray for millions of Black men to come to you guys to get healed so they can go back
Amen.
and heal our young boys, because a lot of them are incarcerated and they're getting life sentences and not dropping tears behind it. Like they are taking lives
I've seen
and
it.
they are
I've
not.
seen it. I've seen it.
Right. And I'm seeing it in my community as well. And it's like it's not even affecting them what they're doing. So I will continue to pray, support, donate, whatever I gotta do. I'm doing it to keep these platforms going. So I just want to
Thank you so much,
give you your
Deborah.
accolades. Thank you.
I
God bless
greatly
you all.
appreciate it. Thank you for jumping in and
Yes.
letting us know this. Rihanna, before you bring the next person on, Wawa, I see Wawa in the comments. Now, Wawa, if this is the same one that left the comment last month, and Wawa, if you're available, I want you to join this live stream and give your testimony. If you're available, even if you don't want to turn the camera on, you can just be on audio, but click on the StreamYard link, drop the StreamYard link again, if you will, please, Rihanna. And I would love for people to hear your testimony. So please do that if you would. You can go and add Jessica Poche. How you doing, Jessica?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great.
We're great, Jessica. You just got off work?
Yes. So I might get in trouble. Okay, you can't see my logo from my job on my shirt.
Yeah. That's why. I want to rat you out now.
Where you at? You on the West Coast?
Yes, California.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see all that
Still
daylight.
light out,
You in SoCal or on the Bay?
I'm in Southern California. I'm actually up in the high desert, so I commute to work, and there's like standstill traffic because there was an accident, so I'm stuck pretty much. So I'm sitting watching you guys, which is awesome. But Jay, actually, I have a meeting with you on Monday because I'm planning a conference, a grief conference. That's me. Yeah, a grief conference for youth.
Okay. All right. Well,
Good.
glad to see your face, because people are emailing back and forth, yeah. Okay, awesome. All right, so just hold on. What time the meeting is again, baby? what time the meeting again?
It's 8:00 my time, so it's 10 your time.
10 a.m.
So
Okay,
make sure
all
you
right.
check that email, sir.
Yeah, I checked. It's weekend. It's Good Friday, so you know what I mean.
He gonna check it. He gonna check it Monday morning.
I'm gonna check it Monday morning after I get the resurrections, sermon on Sunday. So when I rise on Monday,
Oh shit! Well, the link is in your email. Okay, so you have that link.
All right, we look forward to it.
So Jessica, you have a comment?
Yes. I just want to share how much I appreciate you guys. I know I slipped in that doesn't even sound right, so I'm not gonna say that. But I'll write you.
It boosts my ego. Just go say you slipped into my DMs.
Like sliding in just sound creepy. Yeah. But I know I let you know how much I appreciate you, Latarius, and you as well. And I just believe in giving people their flowers where they're alive. And so for me, I have a heart for people, period. But I have a heart for my brothers. Amen. And even when I was younger, I remember I would see, and I don't know what was wrong with me, but it was good, but it was just some ignorant stuff. But I would just go up to like gangsters, right? And be like, do you know who you are, man? Like, you are part of your I'll be like, you're valued. And I will always share how when God, because I'm an artist, and how the first thing God created when he made the earth, he made everything, but he made man. And then he made woman. And just as an artist, understanding that in the creative process, when you have a thought in your mind that you really want to do something, the first thing you make, and then it comes out the way you want it, there's a rejoicing inside. Like, yes, I did that. And I would tell that to guys. I'm like, look, bro, like, do you know who you are? You are valuable. You're the first mind of the creator. You're not just this second thought, like, oh, I guess we got men too. And like, women are number one. And really, it's just an encouragement. Like, I back you guys. You guys have no clue really who I am, but I don't care where I'm at. I'll send your videos. I send everything to everybody because I really value what you do. And I have been blessed in my life. So I didn't grow up with my dad, but I went through some things when I was younger, some sexual abuse, different things like that. And when I was 16, I was like, where's my daddy at? This is dumb. Like, I'm supposed to have my father. And I was like, and where's my grandfather while we at it? Like, what are we doing? And so I remember being in high school and I got on that old school MacBook that had that big old back to it. And I Googled maybe not Google, but I searched for my grandfather and my dad and found them and reached out. My grandfather, he's a pastor. We're still connected. My dad passed away a couple of years ago and our relationship never really connected. But what was hard for me was being a daddy's girl in my heart, but never having a father. Yeah. And, but then having the privilege though, to be fathered by the Lord and, having him, just teach me and love on me and build me up and, give me men. So I'm a widow and my husband passed away 7 years ago. And when I tell you he actually was the one helped teach me how to express my emotions because I didn't know how. I was the one getting shut down, sharing like, oh, this is how I truly feel. And it's like, well, no, I was the one getting shut down. But my husband was like, I'm a grown man. Like, whatever you can be 100% honest with me and whatever you have, he said, I can take it because I'm a man. And he knew he could say that to me because I was careful with him. So like when you read Proverbs 31, the virtuous woman, to me, I mean, she's amazing. But the thing I always prayed to be was the one that her husband's heart can safely trust in.
There
and so, yes. So for my husband, he knew he can trust me that I wouldn't tear him down, when we talked. So we were very vulnerable. He was very vulnerable. And even God blessed me with men friends in my life where they would just share all. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. You know, I
Man.
appreciate it because I want to be a safe place. I want to be a trusting place. I don't want to tear you down. I want to build you up. And so for like you guys, my brothers, again, I appreciate and I value who you are. I value what you bring to the table. I'm so grateful for your yes to God. I'm so grateful
Amen.
for your obedience. I appreciate you. And if there's anything in my power that I have the ability to do to support you, I will. Because what you're
Amen.
doing is
Amen.
not just an act. It's not just something, oh, I'm just doing this real quick. It is literally kingdom work.
There it
Because
is.
Yeah.
Amen.
in the end
Well, thank
days,
you. Well, Jessica, I'm gonna
yeah.
have to move on to the next because we about to
Oh, I'm
wrap
so
this up. But
sorry.
listen, I can seeing all these people popping up at the bottom. I'm like, oh Lord, we
I
got
knew
about
they
4
gonna do
minutes.
that. They gonna
Right,
pop up
the
at
very
the end.
I've been telling them
When
to
I'm
join
trying to
at
get
the
my
very
fish
end.
dinner at home.
Yeah,
You know,
and
I
they
got
gonna
some
jump in at
salmon
the
waiting
very
on
end.
me, man.
So
Beat
Jessica,
my
thank you
wife.
so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Bring in Wawa real quick. Wawa,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Oh God, I'm so nervous.
What you nervous
Yeah.
about?
Ooh, I don't know.
Are you the person that left the comment?
Yes.
Okay. I want people to I want you to share the episode, what happened, what was going on. Share your testimony, Queen.
Okay. So I'm not gonna go into all the details, but I believe it was March 10th. Something happened and I just wanted to kill myself. I was ready to end it all. So I went to the bathroom and I was crying to God. I'm like, just give me a sign. And I'm sorry. Oof.
Don't apologize. Talk, Queen. You're gonna deliver somebody when you get this testimony.
Yeah. So I've kind of been on a healing journey the last 4 or 5 years. But you know how the devil works, right?
Yeah.
At your weakest point, that's when he tries to attack you. So it was on a Thursday and I was ready to kill myself and kill my daughter. My daughter is 4 years. And that day I had made the decision I'm gonna end it all. So I mixed the poison and it was on the bathroom and I said I'm gonna take a bath. I'm gonna soak up myself before I kill her and then kill myself, because I knew at the end of the day killing myself, it's not like I'm gonna go to heaven. So I prayed and I told God, just like Habakkuk prayed, just give me a sign, drop a sign. And as I was in the bathroom, for whatever reason, I think it was Love something. Was it Love Waits or something like that? The video popped up, and God started answering my God started answering me on all the things that I wanted to kill myself about. That was the sign that I prayed for me not to end my life and for me not to end my daughter's life. So every time I say thank you, I'm saying thank you from the bottom of my heart,
Wawa.
because I know, yes.
And one of the most amazing things, the reason why that was so powerful is because that same week my son was trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And when I read that comment, and I literally, my son, he shared it before on one of the episodes, but that same week I got a call. I was headed downtown. I was going to have a meeting, and I was literally 30 minutes away from my son's school, and I get a DM from one of his classmates saying, "Hey, your son said he's going to commit suicide when he gets home." I accidentally left out, and they know working in the foster care arena when they work is that as when you're dealing with a kid that has mental illness, you have to lock up all the medication. Well, that night before, I gave him Benadryl and I had left it out, and he was telling his friends he was going to overdose on the Benadryl. and my heart sunk to my stomach. And, you know, he's threatened that before and had little episodes here, but that moment I knew he was going to do it if I didn't get there in time. So I'm calling the school. I'm saying, hey, listen, y'all need to get my son out of his class. The bell's about to ring. He was about to get on the school bus in 10 minutes. And there was no way for me to get to that school. They weren't, it's the end of the day, so a lot of them not answering the phone. I'm like, oh my God. I called his assistant principal, who I have a personal relationship with. I text him, and that was the only way that I got a response. He responded back. I said, get my son out of that classroom. This is what's going on. He got on the walkie-talkies. He got him removed out of the class and sat down and talked to my son until I got there. That happened the same week that I read in the comment section about your testimony. And and I forgot what episode that was that you're speaking of, but it was literally revealing the heart of God. And whatever that episode was that you wanted to hear something about, hear something from God. And that episode was revealing that's what it was. It was the episode with Andre knows. Yes, and it was a moment in the episode where he just stopped and he just started speaking in tongues. It was like and the fact that that's the episode that God began to speak to you through. I mean, it's
the thing is, within the episode, I just don't want to share what it was, but there are things I asked God specifically, and the guy spoke about it. And this is an episode that you had pre-taped before.
Yeah. I taped it a couple of days for or whatever it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah. So why? You know, I sent you a message or commented under the YouTube video, but we're going to wrap around you right now and pray. People that's in the chat, people that's watching this live stream, I want you to pray audibly wherever you're at right now. This is what this whole podcast is about. This is what healing really looks like, is community. So Heavenly Father, I lift up my sister Wawa. God, I bind up every demonic attack that tries to come against her mind right now in the name of Jesus. We cancel out every assignment that tries to plague her, making her feel like she's unworthy. We cancel that assignment right now in the name of Jesus. Satan, we bind up you right now. We cancel the lies that you've spoken to her since the beginning of time, trying to devalue her and make her have low self-esteem and have low self-worth. We come against that in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. No weapon formed against her shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against her shall be condemned. Even her own tongue that tries to come against her. We cancel that in the name of Jesus. She will rise victoriously over this situation that she's been going through. God, I speak against mental health right now in the name of Jesus, and I ask that her brain, her mind, her cellular makeup comes under a subjection and alignment to you right now in the name of Jesus. And God, we give you the glory, the adoration, and the praise because you are God and God all by yourself. And we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Wawa, before you go.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Before you go, I want you to write messages to yourself and place it around your home.
Oh, I've done that.
Good. I just and I need you to read these messages daily, because when you begin to read these messages, it's time for you to begin to affirm yourself verbally out loud. I know you probably read them silently, but you need to read them out loud, because as you begin to read them out loud, when Laterry said changing your cellular makeup, what this is going to do, this is going to change the pathways of how you receive messages, because the messages that you've been receiving are all lies from the enemy. They're all lies from trauma and all of these things that you've experienced. And so now you have to reprogram your brain and your spirit to begin to think differently. And it's a journey. And when I say it's a journey, because I've been where you are, it's a day-to-day journey. There will be some days it will be good. It will be some days it will be bad. But make a commitment to yourself that each day you're going to give yourself grace. Each day you're going to give yourself compassion. Whether it's a scripture that you love, whatever it is, because renewing your mind, people talk about renewing your mind, but it's a process. Healing is a process. It is a day-to-day process. Even Paul talks about, when I go to do right, evil is present
all day.
So it's a constant making a decision.
Yeah.
And so don't feel bad because you have a moment where you have a bad thought. Keep moving towards your healing. So that's the word that I wanted to give you.
And
Thank
another thing that I'm hearing God saying, your child has so much purpose that God wasn't going to allow you.
But that's who the enemy is after.
Yeah.
He's after the daughter.
Oh my God. I just felt that in the spirit.
And please practice some forgiveness for yourself for even being in that position. Forgive yourself consistently. When you talk about writing out affirmations, one of the things that I did when I was in a dark place, I wrote my affirmations on my mirror. And so when I saw myself, I read those words and I saw me in them. Another thing that you can do is listen to affirmations at night or low time when you're by yourself. And you get to the point where you record your own voice saying those affirmations and you listen to that. So the voices that are coming in your head that are self-defeating, now you're challenging them with the voices that you need to hear that to inspire you.
Yes. Yeah. And where are you located, Wawa?
Oh, I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada. Do you have access to a therapist?
Oh, yeah, I have a therapist and a psychiatrist.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Trust the process. Trust the process. Thank you for sharing and disclosing that as well.
Thank you, Wawa. Listen, I'm still praying for you. So when you popped up in this live, I was like, that's my sister right there. You know, because I literally cried. When I saw your comment, I literally cried and I began to intercede on your behalf. I don't take that stuff lightly. So, thank you so much.
What happened the next episode when you were reading the comments and then you started speaking live? You started you say I actually wrote it down. You said that the devil is trying to attack me. Well, not specifically me, but the devil tries to attack us because he's picked into your future. And then you started saying my story was gonna change, and 2
because
days
it sat
after,
with me. Your story sat with me that whole week. It just sat with me that whole week. And then I started saying, so I said, I don't know if I'll ever get to speak to you. So I spoke directly to you on the episode and said, why? And I began to talk straight to the camera. And I said that if you hear that, then you're going to know God heard you. You know,
I dropped because the day that I was listening to the next podcast, it was one of my good days. So I felt so seen and I felt so hard by God. So thank you.
All right, Wawa, you ain't gonna break me down right now. So I'm gonna keep. So listen, thank you so much. God loves you. We love you. Keep doing what you're doing, sister. Bring Leslie on, if you will, please. We're gonna make this real quick.
Come on, Vivian Banks. Come on, Viv. Aunt Viv.
Thank you.
Have you heard that before, Leslie?
I know she has.
Have you heard that, Leslie?
I haven't, Lateris. I haven't,
Okay,
but
well,
thank you.
Jay feel like you look like Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
So you have a comment or question?
I do. Thank you so much just for even answering the question. I had asked a question about how to reach a teenage son who deals with depression. And Lateris, what you were talking about, I experienced the same exact thing. And I continue to speak life into him because I know that there's so much purpose in him. He's a bright young man. He's a wonderful, funny, intelligent young man. He's very sensitive. And I thank God that I have a father who's able to, pour into him as much as he's able to. I have reached out in the past to find coaches, but I've not been able to, find someone who was available. Are there any other outlets that you could suggest or materials that I can read, even if maybe he's unwilling to, that might specifically cater to him? Or
what city are you in?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
What city are you in?
I'm in Tampa.
Are you in Tampa, Jay?
So we're going to be in Miami on April 30th with the Jess Hill Bro Tour.
Okay.
And so if to register him, it's free. It's jesshill.co. And you can go there to find out all the details and information. I would suggest if you can DM me, I have a few people that is in the network that could probably work with him virtually. The only challenge is right now, I'm sure Bashea can attest to this, is every Black male therapist is probably
stressed,
like is probably overly booked. But most definitely, if you DM me, I would reach out to my resources and send them to you. But most definitely get him to Miami when we post that date to the Just Heal Bro tour, because I think that'll be very beneficial. And then too, you can grab the journal now that's available. And the journal, it's such a powerful read, and it asks questions that even a lot of the young boys are like, yo, man, I get to write out how I feel. Okay. And so one of the things that God allowed me to discover writing this book is that the man who finds his voice finds his way. Because think about it, when men can't find their way, it's because they don't know their voice. And so, and that's available on Amazon, and most definitely get him there and send me a DM, and I can send you the resources I have in that Florida area.
Yeah, send me a DM too, because I know there's some upcoming groups for teen boys. So they'll be able to connect on different levels. So send me a DM as well.
Good. Thank you so much, Leslie. I appreciate you. Tell your son that. What's your son's name?
His name is Noah.
All right.
Oh,
so I want say something to Noah. Each one of us is going to speak to Noah, and you can play this video too. Say something to Noah.
Thank you, Lateris. Thank you, Bashea.
Yeah, listen, I'm kind of tripping out because I have a nephew named Noah.
Okay.
And how you describe your son is how Noah is. And so what I feel for this young man is he has a strong calling on his life. And that's why he feels these feelings. And I want to say this because sometimes, we see this a lot, that feeling of sadness doesn't necessarily mean depression.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And sometimes the feeling of sadness that a lot of boys are experiencing is the absence of having a positive male figure or a father, because they're now wondering, who am I? Who do I become? And so what I want to say to your son is that he is everything that he desired to become outside of what he feels. Because what he feels is he feels defeated. He feels insignificant. He probably feels inadequate, because I know those same feelings in trying to find my way when my dad divorced my mom. But I speak life into him that he shall live and not die.
There it is.
And that's what I'm going to stand on, and he should live and not die. And then if you can encourage him to really be mindful of the messages that he's receiving, even from his inner circle. Because I see that he's connected to some people who are depressed, and they try to project that onto him. He take it on, and he feels like he's depressed, and he's not. So that's what I see. That's what I feel in the spirit realm. I wasn't gonna go there, but I'm gonna. Lateris, you already set the atmosphere.
Yeah, we there now.
You already set the atmosphere. So, but that's just because he's not depressed. He has a circle of people around him that is really projecting that onto them. And so I speak to his mind, I speak to his heart, and I speak to his ear gates.
Yes.
That he's mindful of what he's hearing, that he's mindful of what he's seeing, so he can be mindful of what he's thinking. Because sometimes a lot of these kids, what they're thinking are not even their thoughts.
Yeah.
It's the social messaging.
Yep.
It's the social programming and the socialization that they're having from their peers. So yeah, I speak life to him. That is a powerful young man that you're raising.
Love it. Bashea, you want to chime in? You got something you want to say? No.
I think he got it.
Yeah, he done said it.
But I know a lot of kids are trying to fit in and stand out at the same time, which is causing so much conflict. But I want to encourage him to embrace all parts of him and be okay with that.
Good. Noah, I want you to know you're loved. You're a king. I can't wait to hear the testimony after you come out of this situation. I want you to personally reach out to me, and I want to call you on the phone, and I want to hear the 3.0 version of Noah. I want to hear somebody that's a king and an overcomer. I want to hear you say to me who you are. And I got to hear it out of your mouth. So I want your mom to reach out to me, and I want to hear you say who you are. I want to hear it. I want to hear it, and I need to hear it because you are the head and not the tail. Noah.
And you got to come through, Noah. You got Unviv as your mom. You got Vivian Banks
as your mama. Listen, Leslie, I appreciate you so much.
Well, Uncle Phil just tripped me out with that. Vivian.
So thank you so much. Let's bring Melanie in. We're gonna make this real fast. How you doing, Melanie?
Hi, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night. You in Jamaica?
Oh Lord, how did you know that?
That
only Jamaica who said good night. Good night. Why go sister? Big up yourself,
I'm
man.
here, Medea. I just want you guys to know that you're doing a dang good job. You're reaching young women, young men all around the world, right? It's just earlier this week, I was talking with a friend of mine. We've known each other for a very long time, maybe over 20 years. And we had to talk about the boundaries kind of thing. So he just broke up from a relationship. I'm a Christian, so I'm trying to say, hey, you need to give, the ladies a break. Find yourself, know yourself. Without knowing yourself, you won't be able to love like how you should love. We talk about scriptures, all of that good stuff, but I realized what started happening. It's calling me every day. Like, I'm going to try and hook up. Calling you every day. I'm like, you got to hold your breaks. I need like a day or two break. I don't like people writing me like that. Yeah. So that's the thing that we spoke about earlier this week. But then YY's situation totally threw me off because I was there like 7 years ago, contemplating suicide, everything. I was in a relationship for 15 years and I had to walk away because of something that happened. But all I can say, one thing that I've learned throughout my Christian journey, the fact that I wake up alive each day, it means that God is not done with me yet. Yes, and I want to share that with YY and anyone else on this platform tonight. If you wake up breathing, you can see, you have life, it means that God has a purpose for you. You may not understand it, and you may never understand it, but there's a purpose for you. So,
thank you, Melanie. I appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. And thank you for supporting the Dear Future Wifey podcast. I really appreciate you, Melanie.
Thank you. Good night, man. So you've been in Jamaica. That's what they say.
I haven't been there yet.
You got to go to Jamaica.
I got to.
You got to go to Jamaica and do a Dear Future Wifey podcast episode in Jamaica.
I said I want to do that.
In Montego Bay, man.
You don't want to be on a podcast in Jamaica. You want to be enjoying Jamaica.
I want to hear him. I want to talk.
No, man. You have to do a podcast. Do it in Montego Bay, eating some festival. Dude, that festival, dude, it is crack. It is fried crack, bro.
We're gonna check it out.
Fried
River.
Crack.
Hi, Brother Latarius.
How you doing? Where are you at? What city are you in?
I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, Columbus, Ohio. What would you like to share today, Sister River?
Yes, I have a almost 10-year-old Solomon that is in my life. He's my son. His father left his life when he was 3 years old. So we've gone through some ups and downs and some trials. And my question is really, can you speak to me as a mother and how I can best support him? I've gone before the Lord, years ago, and I told the Lord, I've heard the women, the older women in my life say that, I'm the woman and the man, I'm the mother and the father. And one of the things I decided to do early on is go before God and say, I am not the man. I am the mother and I am the woman. And I'm going to, try to be as effective as I can in his life as that. And whatever else that he needs, I'm going to have to trust you. But I've seen some changes in my son, and he's expressed some anger. He's expressed his need for a male voice, and he has his uncle. But we have such a small family, and there's just not a lot around. So how can I best support Solomon and to make sure that he grows up healthy? I want him to look like you guys.
Bashea, Jay, touch on that real briefly.
I think if you continue what you're doing, it sounds like you're on a great path. You're hearing him. He's allowed to express himself. You're identifying that you don't need to be the father, the man in the house. So that gives him a sense of voice. Of course, he's not the man of the house, but you're allowing him to express this thing and giving him access to his uncle. So what it seems that you're doing is the right thing. I know we tend to get a little anxious. We're like, well, I want to make sure. Just keep showing up and allow him to get to have that space to talk to you.
And one thing that I do want to talk about is that when you say, when you look at us and you say, I want him to be like y'all on that level, you gotta think we 40s, you know? So it took us a long time.
But when did we start though?
Exactly.
The healing journey. Right?
Yeah. So
we've been through some things.
Yeah, we've been through some things. So it's kind of an unfair comparison to think that a kid is going to be, he's going to have to go through his own maturation stage, and that's okay. He's going to be trying to figure out stuff. It's okay. He's going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Because I am the combined mistakes and failures and accomplishments. That's what makes me Laterras R. Whitfield. I've got it wrong a whole lot of times, and I got it right. But that's what we have to give our kids the grace, is the grace to learn, the grace to fail, and we're still there to pick them up and be like, hey, I failed too. And when we create them safe spaces for our children, then that's when you create this bond, and he'll be able to share with you whenever he makes a mistake and know that you're not finna kick him out or whatnot, you know? And so that's what I want to say, is that a lot of times people look at us and be like, I want him like that. It's like that maturation stage is an ugly stage, but that's what brings longevity.
Yeah, but she on the right track.
Yeah, you're on point. But thank you, River. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you for supporting the podcast. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, River.
Let's get Eva on. Oh, you got who you just click on?
Deliver us from Eva.
Oh, Eva.
Eva, turn some light on, baby, so we can see you.
Eva wanted by the FBI. Eva. Can you hear me, Eva?
It's like a camera. Is your camera froze, or she just staring at us?
She's doing a mannequin challenge. Eva, you doing a mannequin challenge?
I don't think she has service.
We're gonna let you figure that out. We're gonna bring you back.
She got cricket. Somebody stepped on her cricket.
It got Boost Mobile. What's this? Lig KG?
Oh, is Eva back on that? Look, she turned her light on. See, turn the light on.
All right, let's go back to Eva real quick. Eva.
Think she's listening to Teddy Pendergrass. Turn on.
Eva, can you hear us? Eva. Eva. Eva, I'm gonna say okay. Okay, now you can hear me. Eva. All right, we're gonna come back to you one last time, Eva. Go ahead and get
that Lil G,
L-I-G,
Lil KG.
Bring them in there, Rihanna. No, she ain't ready. All right.
These are the last two, right?
Yeah, it's the last one. We hungry them up.
Look,
KG.
Hey everybody.
Move this mic, all this equipment.
How you doing, KG?
I'm doing good. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, real quickly. What, you have a question, comment, concern, prayer request?
I just really want to say thank you all for what you do. Laterras, I found you like a long time ago during COVID. And I just appreciate what you all are doing and how you really are being a blessing to me. And I just want to continue to encourage you all to continue to do the work that you're doing. It is so appreciated.
Thank you so much, KG. I appreciate you so much. What city are you calling from?
I'm from Tacoma, Washington.
Okay. She said, I ain't gonna tell you where I'm at. I'm gonna tell you where I'm from. I heard it. I read between the lines.
I'm speaking in Seattle in May. With Dr. What's that lady name? She's a well-known psychiatrist, therapist. Yeah, so
in Tacoma.
Seattle, yeah.
All right, well, cool. Okay. Thank you so much, KG. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you.
Somebody says Jay is on tonight. Y'all, believe it or not, this is me all the time.
Click on Eva one last time. No, don't forget.
Eva still ain't ready. Eva. Then we got somebody walking like they TI on their phone, like they going live.
AK, go sit down. Go sit down somewhere. AK.
Yeah.
Hold on, click on her while she's walking out.
Eva's not gonna be able to join us tonight.
Eva, raise your hand if you're ready.
Yeah, when you get ready, raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
If you're
raising your hand, but it's in slow motion. That tells me your service is.
AK, I want you to go get somewhere and sit down so we can bring you in.
Yeah.
We finna
turn on your Wi-Fi, Eva.
She in the car.
Yeah, turn on your Wi-Fi.
She in the car. What's she gonna turn the Wi-Fi on?
She got a hotspot. Hold on. Wait, she raised her hand. She found a hotspot.
She would have waved her hand a long time ago.
Go Eva. And AK, find
The
your
old
newsfeed.
folks say you can't sell word, just wave your hand.
Okay, now Eva ain't got nothing. It's just black. Eva, Eva, send us a DM.
Send a DM to Laterris. He's on a journey to uncover, discover,
and recover love.
And recover love. Every time, listen, when I watch your podcast, I have to hear that part. My name is Laterris Whitfield, and I'm on a journey to uncover, discover, and recover love. I'm like, this Negro.
So AK, I don't see you on the stream. I'm gonna give you about 30 more seconds, and then we're gonna go eat. Let's see what time it is. Yeah, it's a good 30 seconds. It's 9:30. Perfect. We're gonna walk right across this thing.
Okay.
All right, there you go, AK. Okay. How you doing, AK?
Oh, she just
I'm
got
good.
her hair done.
How are you?
She said, I just got my hair done. Y'all gonna see me today. She said, y'all gonna see me today. You understand
Y'all
me?
gonna see me today.
I see you, Godiva.
There you go.
You look like you in the Godiva chocolate bar. Okay.
There it is. Flip it right there.
All right.
So AK, what's up?
All right. So hi again, Laterris. I was on last
How you
night.
doing?
Question. So I did ask it in the live chat, but it probably just got, wiped away with all the other comments. This is about marriage and dating. So when a man that is afraid to get married, say they don't have an example to model after, because it's like, I've never saw a successful marriage, so I'm afraid to. But why don't they have that same mentality when it comes to building their empire and business, right? They've never seen a successful business that they're doing. So why don't they? It's the same thing to me. Does that make sense?
Well, the business is mainly dependent on self. And in a relationship, I can't control you. So I don't know what the outcome is going to be. And men like to be in control of the outcome. So a business, he says, if I work hard, I can be successful. That's what we're taught. We work hard, we can be successful. You can work hard on a relationship and still end up in divorce, still end up being betrayed, still end up getting hurt. And so, yeah, it sounds like an excuse, but it's a reality in what he's saying. It's factual. If he ain't seen it, he ain't seen it. And you're trying to compare both situations and say, well, why don't he keep that same energy when it comes to his business? But
there isn't a lot of emotions in business.
Yeah.
No, there's no. Yeah.
I can turn the emotions off and get the job done.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's totally different when you're connecting with somebody. I mean, trying to build this relationship that's supposed to last forever. That thought of marriage is forever. So if I go into a business, I can stop doing this business and go into another one.
Yeah.
And be okay. I can't stop this relationship, this marriage, this emotional connection, spiritual connection that I have to this person and sit in failure, because I got to sit with that for a long time.
Beat up the Rihanna. And then you got to ask yourself a question. Yeah, she's going to just put that up there real quick. Let that sit in there and marinate. Listen, that is interesting. And then you got to ask yourself, if he kept the same energy that he had about business and treated you that same way, would you feel like that's a thriving relationship? You would never want him to treat your relationship like a business.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like that at all. You'd be like, you're just handling me like, you look out, you'd be like, no, I'm keeping the same energy. How you like it?
Because you're dealing with the business based off of profits
and losses
and what you want in return. And the risk sometimes is calculated based on what you want your outcome to be.
Yes.
So I'd rather take a risk from a business point rather than to take a loss from an emotional.
Oh, heck no.
Because
you may not recover.
Because the risk is too high emotionally.
And you may not recover from it.
You may not recover. So yeah.
Right. You be like, oh, geez, I'm done. I ain't gonna marry nobody ever again in life. You know what I'm saying? You're like, dang, that was jacked up. That was just one of y'all. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Mika. Thank you for the super chat. Thank y'all so much, Deborah, for the super chat. Yes, like y'all said, I saw a comment when they said donate to Kingdom Royale. I'm trying to pay off this land. I had Terry Igioma, who was on the podcast, that was nice enough to take the land off the market for $1,350,000.
Wow.
And I got to pay that back.
Jay, he about to pay all that off.
Jay said he gonna give me the $1.3 million.
I'm gonna speak it into you.
He he gonna speak it into
No,
existence.
I got it. Yeah.
But Jay,
I'm on the board.
Yeah, you're on the board.
So I'm going to help Laterius.
Amen.
I'm going to help his because I told him I have a couple of homeboys who play in the league who have group homes and very profitable. And so at the same time as you change your lives, I think it's going to be a business that's going to be very advantageous to your legacy and also to continue to build more. So I told you, you got my word. I'm on the board, and we're gonna make this happen. And it's gonna be a beautiful facility because I see 60+ beds, and I already told you how that business works. And how you know the state. And right now,
there's a huge need.
There's a huge need because the displacement for boys are becoming greater. And because nobody wants to take boys because they're high risk. Yeah. So you know that.
And that's the reason why I'm concentrating on boys, because it's when I go to some of these, I hate to call them, I don't know what you want to call it, but this is one organization that has these exhibits for these kids, and they have these pictures or whatever. And I saw so many black faces. And this one lady came up to me. She worked for the CPS, and she said, "Are you going to get him? You know, a lot of white people are looking at him. You need to get him." And I was just like, wow. And
she said it like that?
Yeah, because the reality is that so often it's not. We don't have a huge representation of African Americans trying to adopt. They'll foster all day because the check is bigger for fostering. But adoption, you don't really get nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's pennies. So our white counterparts are going, and they're actually those that will adopt our black kids. But it's still not where we're disproportionately representing the foster care system. So that's just crazy. Kingdom Royale, you can go to kingdomroyale.com, Nativa. Kingdomroyale.com. You have Cash App option as well as Zelle and credit card option on there as well. So thank y'all so much.
They can sow into the kingdom of my stomach right now.
So I'm gonna go take my boys to go eat real quick. Listen, thank y'all so much. AK, let's see. We're gonna try to bring Eva on one last time so she don't feel like she wasted her time. Eva,
I want to point out this brother right here, Brian's place.
Black, it ain't there.
I want to point out Brian's place comment, man. This is so powerful, bro. Look what he said. He said, "To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world."
Facts.
Man, I've never heard that. It's awesome, Brian.
Yes. I appreciate that, Brian. Brian always leaves comments a lot on a lot of the episodes. Thank you, King, for watching the podcast. Thank y'all so much for helping us to celebrate.
I didn't say my congratulations to you, bro.
Oh, okay.
So it's been 2 years since you started the podcast?
Yes. This is the 2-year anniversary on April the 15th.
Congratulations.
Wow, man.
And it fell on Good Friday. So at first I wasn't going to do anything. And God said, remember, you're going to celebrate every milestone, so do something. So I said, all right, that's why y'all got a call and text message last minute.
It just so happened, Bashea was here.
Yes. And so when he said that, when he said he was in town, I said, okay, I got to do something.
Yeah. And I was on the flight, and I was just like, man, dude, I'm so tired. But I got off the flight. My cleaning lady had cleaned up my house, and I said, man, I had to go get to the gym, get a workout in. I was behind, but I was like, dang, I laid down. I was laying down. That bed was feeling so good, bro.
Feeling good after you've been traveling.
Bro, I was like, man, I wanted to come and celebrate you, man, because, you know, we met a couple of years ago. And just to see where we both have grown, bro, it's crazy. In the past 2 years. So I'm proud of you, man. And I'm just happy to see where you're going to continue to grow. And believe it or not, bro, I think you have truly the best podcast and one of the most diverse podcasts I've ever seen. And just the myriad of things that you discuss, man, and talk about. So I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations. You know, I'm not taking you out to eat tonight.
Oh, see,
but
but
I'm gonna plant a seed. I'm gonna plant a seed into Kingdom Royale, man, because I believe in it. But yeah, man, I'm proud of you, man.
Man, it's so dope too to even watch how your whole career is just blossoming. When at the premiere of your own thing, you know, I said a joke, but it wasn't a joke. You know, I told Jay, I said, Jay done blew up from the podcast, making all his money. He started rubbing it in. I done made this kind of money. I done made this.
I didn't say that.
He started rubbing it in. Yes, you did.
I just said mental health has been good.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, I got to record it.
Well, your gift make room for you.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I've been laboring for 10 years.
Yeah. And I had to give you your flowers too, bro, because I've seen the growth in you as well.
Yeah.
I followed you a long time ago, and then I seen the growth. You know, we talk offline, so we talk offline, but I seen the growth. I said, yo, that's dope. And I tell my wife, she's like, oh, Jay Barnett. I was like, yeah. It's like, how you know Jay? that was a little inside joke. But just to see the growth in how you're reaching the masses, bro. You're talking about just heal, bro.
Yeah.
You're talking about identifying and representing and modeling and like the fight of showing kingdom in mental health.
Yeah.
At the same time, being able to hit somebody with some scripture and then come with the clinical part and then come with the humanistic side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's unmatched. So
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
The church, you already know.
Yeah. You say less because
Yeah. This has been good. This brother. I didn't know I needed this, man.
Man,
I got second wind now, bro. He's asking about these knees.
He said he about to be 40. So happy early birthday to my brother Jay.
Yes. Thank you, brother.
So it's gonna be done. We the same age. We 40. You're 40. You about to be 44?
I think so.
He always forget. We the same exact age.
Bro, I tell you what's dope, bro, is like we don't look our age.
No.
And we out here killing it.
Yeah,
you know
black don't crack. Listen,
but again, crack will kill.
Black don't crack, but crack will kill. That's a word. Anyway, thank y'all so much for joining us on the 2-year anniversary of the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Thank y'all for joining the journey of healing and restoration. And as I always say at the end of the podcast, don't stop loving. So I appreciate y'all so much, and continue healing with us on this journey, and keep doing what you're doing. Y'all be blessed. Rihanna, you can click on end broadcast at the top. Amen. God bless.